Hear me? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 8th, 2025 regularly scheduled meeting of the West Contra Costa Unified School District School Board. The meeting is called to order at 5:00 p.m. To access translation in Zoom, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen. And if you're here in Dijon, you can pick up a headset in the back of the room. The board is about to go into closed session, but before we do, we are here to listen to comment on closed session items. Individuals wishing to speak on closed session items listed, if you're here in the auditorium and you haven't done so already, please submit a WCC USD public comment card, which you can find in the entryway table, or if you're participating via Zoom, individuals will need to raise their Zoom hand in the app. If you're accessing the meeting by phone, press *9. The time allotted to each speaker is 2 minutes. The total time allotted is 1 hour. Speaking time shall not be transferred from one person to another. There is no substitution of speakers. We alternate between a Zoom comment and an in-person comment. The public comment period is a safe space where diverse viewpoints may be expressed civilly without interruption or intimidation. Please listen attentively to each speaker's comments and respect the time as if it were your own. Be open to a different point of view if one is offered. Due to the Brown Act, board members cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda and do not usually respond to items presented in public comment. The items listed on the closed session agenda tonight are conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Deborah Peters versus West Contra Costa Unified School District, Contra Costa County Superior Court, case number C24-03148. Liability claims, claim number 661-096. Conference with labor negotiators, public employee performance evaluation, and then we'll be back for open session. Is there any public comment on closed session items?
We have no public comment.
Great, thank you. The board intends to return at 6:30 for open session. Thank you. In the front here, can people hear me? In the front here, can people hear me? Hands up if you can hear. Okay, we'll be starting in just a second. Thank you. All right, we're starting now. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for your patience. Welcome to the open session of the regularly scheduled October 8th, 2025 meeting of the West Contra Costa Unified School District. The board is returning from closed session, and I am calling open session to order at 7:54 p.m. To access translation in Zoom, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen. If you're here in the auditorium and you need translation, you may pick up a headset in the back corner of the auditorium. In a few minutes, we're going to begin public comment. Members of the public are invited to speak to the board on any item that is not otherwise on the agenda, but is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the West Contra Costa Unified School District. Please prepare now for public comment. And if you're here in the auditorium and you'd like to make a public comment, please fill out and submit a WCC USD public comment card. You can find them on the table in the entryway. And if you're participating via Zoom, please raise your hand in the Zoom app prior to beginning of this item on the agenda. If participating by phone, press *9. After your comment card has been turned in, the cards are placed in the order received, and we will call on speakers one at a time, alternating between the public comment here in Dijon and Zoom. Public comment generally lasts for 1 hour. The time allotted to each speaker is 2 minutes, and in the meantime, we are moving on to the rest of our opening procedures. We're moving now to B2, Pledge of Allegiance. If you are willing or able, please rise. All right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 3, land acknowledgement. Recognize that we are presently on the lands of the Chochenyo, Mi'kmaq, Karkin, Ohlone peoples and acknowledge them as the first inhabitants of the land we currently occupy. Labor and body recognition acknowledgement. I acknowledge that the burden of environmental exploitation and systemic injustice falls upon the labor of Black and brown bodies in the building of this country and its institutions. I remember that Black and brown people were born and died working this land against their will for generations. I also acknowledge the continued contribution of the labor of survivors over the centuries to today and of all immigrant labor, including voluntary, involuntary, trafficked, forced, and undocumented peoples in the building of what we refer to as the United States. Author, Dr. Rochelle Rogers Ard. B4, West Contra Costa Unified School District School Board Anti-Racism Statement. The West Contra Costa School District Board of Education is committed to the work of anti-racism, the conscious and active effort to identify, challenge, and correct racial inequities in the systems and institutions within our schools and community. Racism, explicit or implicit, stands in direct conflict to the fundamental principles of WCC USD education. To carry WCC education into the future, we recognize that we must continually renew and reflect on the roots of racism and develop new ideas to meet the times. Unjust ideas and policies and the racial inequity they produce have shaped us, our schools, and our society. We strive to uncover unconscious biases and practice anti-racism as individuals and as board members. We challenge ourselves to persist through and the discomfort necessary for growth and learning. To deepen our listening and examination of racism and oppression, and to develop a strong understanding of how our personal experiences and feelings fit into a larger picture of continual oppression. Each member of our school district board, individually and collectively, is responsible for creating and nurturing an anti-racist learning environment where each student, staff member, and community partner is respected and valued member of the WCC USD community. We are uniquely positioned, and it is our responsibility to identify and dismantle racist ideas and inequitable policies in ourselves and across the district. Therefore, we commit to supporting anti-racist policies, programs, and practices for our children's education and well-being, while building strong and inclusive school communities. We commit to holding each board member accountable towards these goals and moving the work of anti-racism forward. We also commit to holding West Contra Costa Unified School District staff, students, and community to live these standards of anti-racism in our schools. Board approved March 20th, 2024. B5, introduction of new student trustees. Superintendent Cotton will take the opportunity to introduce and welcome our two newest student trustees. So, Superintendent Cotton, all you.
Thank you, Board President Reckler. We are excited to announce that we have our two new student trustees for the first semester of the 25-26 school year. We'd like to welcome Brooke Miles, a student at Vista High School, and give her claps. Thank you. And Sasha Hahn, a student at El Cerrito High School. These are both two very accomplished students. We are so glad that they have been selected to join the board. I've had a chance to meet with them both in preparation for this meeting, and they will be amazing. I'm so proud of you and so excited to be working with you.
Board members, any welcomes, brief welcomes? I'd just like to say welcome. I know you're going to learn a lot and have a great time, and I look forward to your input. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to number B6, which is roll call. Superintendent Cotton, would you take roll, please?
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Hi, welcome. We probably would have more comments. It's just we're behind, so we're trying to move a little bit faster, but welcome from all of us, and we'll kind of probably talk to you individually and be like, yay, welcome. But so welcome, but we're just kind of moving fast. I'm complete.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on to roll call.
Okay. Board Member Gonzalez Hoy. We're doing our roll call.
I'm so sorry. It is one of those nights. I am present. Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Hernandez. Roll call.
Present and welcome, everybody.
Thank you. Clerk Inyana.
Good evening, everyone present.
Trustee Smith Folds.
Good evening, everyone present.
Board President Reckler.
Good evening, I'm present.
And student trustees. Student trustee Han.
Good evening, everyone present.
And student trustee Miles.
Good evening. Hi, present.
Great, thank you. We're moving now to B7, report ratification of closed session. Superintendent, are there any reports out from closed session this evening?
Regarding agenda item A21, the board voted unanimously to approve the settlement in the amount of $90,000. And regarding agenda item A22, the board voted unanimously to reject claim number 661096 related to an alleged personal injury. That concludes the report.
Thank you very much. Moving now to B8, WCC USD public comment. Members of the public are invited to speak to the board on any matter that is not otherwise on the agenda, but is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the West Contra Costa Unified School District. Public comment will last approximately 1 hour. Time allotted to each speaker is 2 minutes. Should additional speakers remain at the conclusion of 1 hour, public comment may be extended. The time allotted per speaker beyond the first hour is generally 1 minute. Individuals wishing to speak, please submit a WCC USD public comment card, or if participating via Zoom, individuals will need to raise their hand in the Zoom app prior to the beginning of this item on the agenda. If you're calling, you need to call in by phone, press *9. Speaking time shall not be transferred from one person to another. There is no substitution of speakers. Speakers can also make comment again for each discussion and action item. I've become very echoey down there in the sound. Speakers can also make public comments again for each discussion and action item on the agenda after staff presentations. The public will have 10 minutes per item and 1 minute per speaker. The same protocols recited above apply. The public comment is a safe space where diverse viewpoints may be expressed civilly without interruption or intimidation. Please listen attentively to each speaker's comment and respect their time at the podium as if it were your own. Be open to a different point of view if one is offered. Due to the Brown Act, board members cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda and do not usually respond to items presented in public comment. Is there any public comment? And do you have 10 for the regular public comment period for B8? It's 13. Why don't you have them line up? We'll save a little bit of time. So when your name is called, stand and line up behind the podium. We'll save a little bit of time by having that organized. Thank you.
Don Gosney, Sky Nelson, Tristan Simbulan, Mark Mitchell, Kim Chamberlain, Isabel Lanzas Estrada, Gandika Union, Marie Anya, Arturo Reed Rodriguez.
Okay, As the chair of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee and having been with the bond program since its inception, I frequently visit the school sites where construction is happening. Having access to these sites has been problematic, so I frequently find myself standing on my ladder shooting photos and videos over the fence line. Most of the time, this is our only access to our bond projects. Such was the case last Sunday. We had seen a few photos on social media a few days earlier that the facilities team had removed Richmond High's rock from its pedestal so it could be relocated and stored until it was time to relocate it to its semi-permanent new location. I was surprised to see the rock sitting about 20 feet from its former location, but from the extremely limited vantage points that I had, it just seemed smaller than before, like parts of it might have been chipped off. I shot photos from 3 sides, and when studying those photos, my earlier observations seemed to have been validated. Prudence would demand that I reach out to senior district staffers or board members to get more information, but if you've been listening to my whining when I stand before you to speak, you've heard me speak of how difficult it is for me and many members of the public to get anyone to actually respond to phone calls, messages, texts, emails, and even public records requests. Even with board members, with the exception of my old friend trustee Alana and President Reckler, communication with the rest of the board has been difficult. I forwarded my photos and comments to district staffers and posted on social media about my observations. On Monday, trustee Gonzalez Hoy posted a photo from inside the fence line, a locale I was forbidden to shoot from, which clearly showed how wrong I was. I immediately removed my original posts on social media and posted apologies and corrections to my earlier comments. I also emailed my apologies to community leaders for my error. I apologize here and now and on the record for my erroneous comments. I was mistaken. I can only hope that with more open lines of communication in the future, I will be able to verify what I see with reality before going public. Thank you.
Zoom. Okay. Hi, my name is Sky Nelson, teacher and parent at El Cerrito High School. I've been present at many of the board meetings and the district budget meetings. And I've done a lot of research on the budget, and I'm grateful to learn a lot about what's happening with the budget, how it works. And I've been very neutral in my approach to understanding. I've been very disappointed to realize that there's a piece of data that was not obvious to me, but is very important, which is that special education has increased in funding from 22 million to 33 million or 38 million to 92 million this year in terms of our contributions. So those numbers are on the slides that Dr. Moses has given us. And I bring them up, first of all, special education is very important. Special education students are general education students first. We need to make sure that we are covering their needs and doing so in a way that's sustainable. When we're cutting $7 million a year from the budget and looking tonight at cutting whatever we have to cut for next year, I don't think it's the right approach when we're so over budget in one area of our department. When you look at what we're doing there, that's being handled in a way that is sustainable and come really clean with the community about what we can do to make it better. Because we can't go out and fight for Measure T and $10 million a year in parcel tax funding when we're over budget, spending increasing so much in the last 5 years, 260% in the last 5 years in special education. So there's to all our special education students and teachers are wonderful. Thank you for the district for supporting them. And let's get that handled and be really upfront with the community about what we need to do to fix it. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Jean Kinster. Please unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. It's a.
Morning, board, or good evening, board.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to.
UTR is fighting for safe, healthy,
this is-
supportive learning conditions during our negotiations with the.
Please unmute yourself. Ms. Kinster,
Yes. Hello.
we couldn't hear you. Can you start over, please?
Oh, awesome, it's working. Okay, yes. UTR is fighting for safe, healthy, and supportive learning conditions during our negotiations with the district. Our school was not given stripper so that the janitors could strip and wax the floors properly over the summer. Instead, they were told to use the buffer to roughen up the surface and just put a thin coat of wax over the old wax because there's no money for stripper and wax now. Our school had a classroom where during the Williams inspection, the Williams people took a rug out of the classroom. This rug is only 2 years old. The reason? Because our school was not given the equipment or supplies to wash and shampoo classroom rugs this summer. We don't know why. The rug was taken out of the classroom because our school's blacktop was not properly sealed the last time it was resurfaced, and it makes everything black and dirty. The rug was so dirty and so black, William said it couldn't stay in the classroom. The kids' hands, clothes, equipment that they use, and their shoes are all covered in black dust. And this makes our classrooms a mess with little black deposits everywhere. If we are all one, then things need to change to provide safe and healthy learning conditions for our students. We need to provide the needed supplies to our schools and take responsibility for the blacktop resurfacing that was not done completely. And for the person that talked about SPED, I hear them and I understand them, but the answer is not to mainstream MMSN kids from Cameron and even ESN kids. We have a child that clearly does not belong in our school, running around naked with poop stuck to them, not staying in the classroom, throwing chairs. It's crazy. We need help. We're dying out here, people. We need help.
Kristen Simbulan.
Good evening, everybody. First, I would like to take this moment to recognize October as Filipino American History Month. For the Filipino American community, this is a chance to celebrate over 4 centuries of history. As the first confirmed Filipino presence in the United States were Filipino sailors in the now Morro Bay, California in 1587. Fast forward, the deep commitment we see in our country today is part of such larger legacy. Generations of Filipinos have historically fueled America's growth in different sectors: healthcare, agriculture, and the military, to name a few. Some important figures in Filipino and American history, like Larry Itliong and Philip Vera Cruz, labor leaders that are rarely celebrated, are often forgotten leaders in the battle for farm workers and civil rights movement. Most importantly, education sector where Filipinos continue to be a significant part of. This is a moment for us to look right here within our own school district and honor a remarkable group of people, the Filipino community. Teachers, service providers, professionals, district staff, administrations, students and their families. Coming to a new country is not always rainbows and butterflies. However, we are very grateful for the opportunity given to us to build a new life and bring the strength of Filipino resilience. We came here as educators for the past 25 years, and we become vibrant, essential part of this community. It is just right that Filipino international teachers should have protections in place in able to uphold the high standards of our profession and to give quality education to our students they deserve. So I urge everyone to listen to our stories of our experiences, to consider and ensure that the decision-making policies are appropriate and agreeable to our proposed Article 54 in our contract. Thank you.
The next public comment is Clara Ackerman. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I just wanted to speak about some of the concerns. I wasn't able to attend the last board meeting, but some of the UTR concerns. I just wanted to mention some of the things that are currently illegal that are happening in our district. So far, we still have IDEA. It hasn't been completely abolished by President Trump. That means students deserve to have access, and they are legally entitled to access the services in their IEP. We began the year with at least 5 speech therapists down. Numerous children were receiving no speech therapy at all until about the beginning of October. There is no plan that I know of for those students to have those services made up. This is something that has happened multiple times in the 3 years that I have worked for West Contra Costa Unified School District. Either students have not been tested accurately within the legal timeline, or they have not had services, and when they parents requested makeup services, they had to request 10 to 20 times before those services were provided. The majority of families never had those services provided, only those parents that were willing to ask 10 to 20 times. To speak about the enforced end of MMSN and full inclusion, if those programs are going to be eliminated in our district, they need to be eliminated by providing the same amount of support within RSP as is provided currently within MMSN and full inclusion. Currently, students were not allowed to enter full inclusion. They were given, we gave them increased aid minutes. The RSP teachers were not given additional aids, therefore those minutes are not being served. I know, for example, at Stige, there are some very persistent parents, and there have been some additional aids put in that classroom of TK. But in other schools where parents are not as persistent, those students simply don't have their minutes served. And I hear that RSP teachers are being pressured to lower the minutes on a child's IEP. Now, some children may settle in and not need as many minutes, but the RSP leads are telling their RSP teachers, just lower the minutes so that you're not unserving minutes. That's illegal. We put those minutes in after we were told we could not send kids to full inclusion. That was not something that we did just to, harass RSP teachers. So please know, if you're an RSP teacher or a parent, why that was done.
Next public comment is Mark Mitchell.
Good evening, Superintendent Cotton, President Reckler, and Board, Cabinet. I want to echo the words of TJ Sambalan that this is Filipino American History Month, and it's an incredibly important month to recognize the contributions of generations of Filipino American educators that have been coming to our district since 1998, when Amy and Dang came as the first batch from the Philippines to serve our students. Since then, literally hundreds of these educators have come recruited by our district through labor contractors in the Philippines. And we, for the first time in UTR, have gotten together all of these folks and put forward an article for our union contract that will respect their human dignity to be treated as professionals when they arrive and they become integrated into our district, into our community, into our union. Our proposal has been rejected out of hand by the district. We don't appreciate that, and that's not respectful of the contributions of these educators. This is not a casual endeavor by our district. It is the primary recruitment strategy for educators in our district. The primary recruitment location of educators for our district is the country of the Philippines. We have other international educators from Mexico, Spain, China, Taiwan, and other places, but it is largely a Filipino workforce. We have 55 educators on H-1B visas and 19 on J-1 visas. They are under extreme distress right now because of the nature of our national government, and as all non-citizen residents of our country are feeling. We have a proposal before the board to make them feel a respected part of our district and to grant them a respectful pathway to legal permanent residency once they have a clear California credential and are permanent educators under the Ed Code. Don't reject this proposal out of hand. Our educators from the Philippines and elsewhere deserve your respect.
Our next public comment is Cristina Huerta. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening. My name is Cristina Huerta, and I'm a teacher at Kennedy High School. There are a few reasons I'm addressing the board tonight. First off, on behalf of the Spanish department at Kennedy, I would like to give our thanks to the board for their support in reinstating AP Spanish Literature and Culture at Kennedy. Though we celebrate this success, the second reason I'm addressing the board is to bring light to the fact that Kennedy has been without a cashier since the start of the school year. We love our cashier. We can't wait for her to come back. But until that happens, we are unsure why the district has not assigned a substitute to help Kennedy's leadership class, all the clubs on our site, and other involved parties access funds that they are entitled to. And the final reason I'm addressing the board tonight is in support of international educators employed by this district. We currently have about 70 vacancies in the district, and I can't even imagine what our situation would look like without our international educators who leave their home country to teach in our schools. Our colleagues have to sacrifice a lot, and the worst part is that when they arrive to work in our district, they are met with challenge after challenge. International educators share their expertise, their love of teaching, and a different cultural perspective. The contributions they make are too many to count, and I know that our students and community are better off having them in our classrooms. The educators have already put in sometimes years of service in our schools, so it's time for the district to show their appreciation and support. It's necessary for WCCUSD to work with United Teachers of Richmond in order to implement guidelines that protect our international educators and ensure their safety and security while in this country. Thank you.
Next public comment, Isabel Lanzas Estrada.
Good evening. I'm a grandparent, and during the pandemic, we lost St. Cornelia School. And now we are about to have our school that is on St. Cornelia School before, and they're doing a great job. And I would like to everyone who is in charge of this to consider not to close this school. My grandbabies attend this school and they have a high standard education and discipline. I'm begging to anyone who is in charge of taking care of this to consider giving the chance to have another 5 years with them, because my grandbaby got put out of San Cornelia School in 2000 during the pandemic. It was closed, lack of money. And now, again, this school is going to be closed. It's very sad to hear that. I'm really concerned because the other schools are really super full and they only have one teacher for 20 students. How can they help the student that they have learning disability or they have some kind of issues? For one teacher is too many students. They need help. So I'm really concerned and sad to hear that they might be closing the doors to our children. This is our future, our kids' future, our grandchildren's future, our future generation for years to come. And it's very sad to hear that. I'm really disappointed about. That's all I have to say.
Our next public comment is Josue. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good evening, members of the board and Superintendent Cotton. My name is Josue Enamorado. I'm a junior at John F. Kennedy High School, and I wanted to speak about some of the issues that were happening here at Kennedy. I am a part of the leadership class at Kennedy, and it's been really challenging and hard trying to set up events and fundraise for our grade levels due to our cashier being out since the start of the school year. As well, there's been a lot of miscommunications towards the district that we can't have some of our cultural events that we do or that we've done in the past, like Fiesta Friday, and we had to postpone the event due to the miscommunications. I was hoping if the board could help us at Kennedy find someone to fill in our cashier while she is gone, as well help us in our site with some of the problems that are going on over here. Thank you for your time.
Our next public comment is Gandika Nguyen.
Hi, good evening. I was originally came up to speak about something else, but while you were in closed session for 90 minutes, you pushed back the agenda for tonight. We had 300 people here to support RCP and Voices in their renewals and their revision. And we have families, we have people who have worked, and I find it really disrespectful to us. We have some people who have to leave for work in less than an hour. I have to go take care of, I have 3 kids. I have to go home, take care of them. And we have kids that have to go to school tomorrow morning. It's not fair to us, and it's not fair to all the people who have to be around us tomorrow morning. And I know that there's lots of important things that you discussed in closed sessions, things that you can't share with us, but there's got to be a better way. We need to make sure that these families here can get home at a reasonable hour. It is 8:26, and I was supposed to be gone at least half an hour ago. This is ridiculous. And since I still have time, I also want to say that please revamp the website. You say that the new website should be up and running, but every single time I try to find something on the site, I click on a link and it tells me page not found, error 404. That also needs to change. It's really difficult for us families who are trying to find information to find it. Thank you. One last thing. I was scheduled to speak later on tonight, but I have to leave tonight, so just
Sorry, you've had your time. Please step away. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Kim Chamberlain. Kim Chamberlain.
Hello. Kim Chamberlain, IFPTE Local 21 SSA Chapter President. Yes, we have lots of things happening in the month of October. One of those wonderful things is October 13th, which is Indigenous Peoples Day. It is also a celebration of our classified personnel in our district. And again, we are celebrating them. Some of them will be coming to work. Some of them will be coming and learning new skills and learning how to do data privacy, how to be safe and learn CPR, first aid. Some of them will be taking a day to revamp and be refreshed for Tuesday when they get to meet everybody's shiny rested faces and start a whole new week again. When they're starting that new week, yes, I am going to mention it, EBF forms are coming back. Our school site staff, those wonderful classified personnel, and I have some teachers that I can very graciously say are supporting those classrooms also, because they have been reaching out to me and asking for paper copies or a digital form and how they can improve their numbers. We are at 77.9%. Woo! That is a large number for our district. We have 5,530 left to do. But I want to say this, Nystrom is kicking it into high gear, and I just got a huge stack from them. So we will be putting those in tomorrow. And I bet you that number goes down quite a bit more. And we may even make it up to that 78, maybe 79%. So I want to give a huge shout out to our classified, take a good rest, and thank you for continuing your support.
Next public comment is Marie Anya.
This is my fourth meeting in a row. Thank you, Steve Admin, for the new trikes and basketball hoop. Lydia was overjoyed to have something to play with. Yes, I'm still fired up about resources that have not been sent. You have failed, dismissed, and continually discriminated against Steve. It's shameful. You might be uncomfortable listening to my speech. Well, Steve has been uncomfortable for 50 years. The true victims are the students. Side made with shade equipment, just plain neglected. Steve deserves an apology for the emotional distress and trauma that you've placed on us. I read every Parent Square message that comes out. Nothing has been said to Steve about how you hear our concerns and voices, sending resources to the campus. All we heard is and use structure. You know, the repeated racism and discrimination.
together and acknowledge that we are humans and demand the same resources as our peers. My Williams complaint is due October 11th. Oh, Javon, reach to me. I'm sure hoping that someone from facilities.
And our last public comment is Arturo Reed Rodriguez.
Hello, my name is Arthur Rodriguez. I come from Summit Tamalpais, 7th grade. I support Voices for Summit Tamalpais.
Hi, my name is Arturo Rodriguez, and I do support Voices for Summit Tamalpais. Not only supporting, this is our first year we're attending a charter school. We've been to the district. My kids attended the district. They're doing great. I have a future lawyer on my side, which is my oldest daughter. My middle child is going to be a child psychologist. I'm super proud of them. And as you can see, my son right behind me, he wants to be a medical doctor. So we're trying to aim for an education, not a budget cut, not money that is taken away for kids' education. If I'm aiming for something high, why do I want to start low with no funds? If I'm aiming for something in the middle, I will stay in the middle and don't teach my kids it and don't have them a great education. But I want to aim for higher education for the kids, a bright future, not only for us as students, but then for the community also. By having a lawyer that represents criminal justice, immigration, that fights for the right cause for people, and having a child psychologist, a kid that actually offers a solution to a kid, not coming in here trying to fight a budget that gets cut, but understand that why are kids dealing with this when us as adults should be dealing with that, and the people with board members indicating that, why the cuts here, why do the kids understand that? They don't understand what's going on, but us as adults, we should be doing this, not every single year, not every single time, but we got to prepare for the future. Same thing is happening now. I want my kids to succeed. Same as he wants to be a medical doctor. Same as my other kid that was already on that path of 100% being a lawyer, and my other one being a child psychologist. And I do thank you.
That concludes public comment.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who gave public comment this evening. We're now moving to number 9, which is standing reports. Are there standing reports this evening? Standing reports?
We have UTR and CBOC.
Thank you. UTR and CBOC can approach for standing reports.
Good evening, board. Superintendent Cotton. The last time I was here, I was joined by over 300 United Teachers of Richmond members, students, community allies, elected officials, and my 4-year-old son, Ray. My son stood at this podium and made a simple plea that he and his classmates receive the speech services that they are legally entitled to. At that time, 8 students at Washington Elementary had not received a single session all school year. Unfortunately, that problem is not isolated to one school. On September 1st, 225 students across West Contra Costa Unified had no speech therapist assigned and therefore had no services. As of September 25th, 225 students still had no speech therapy services. And today, over 300 students receive speech therapy services through Zoom, and 10 still don't have SLP assigned to them at all. This is not just a data point. This is the lived experience of our youngest and most vulnerable learners, students who depend on us to meet their educational and developmental needs. Remember how we got here. In January, you were all pressured by business services to cut 6 speech language pathologist positions. On September 11th of this year, while our SEPA director was out on leave or vacation, the department was abruptly told to hire back 5 SLPs. But rather to restore the district hired educators, the solution was to contract it out to hire 3 virtual SLPs through a private equity-backed company. This pattern of cut first, outsource later is how privatization creeps in through the back door. These are not student-centered decisions. They are management decisions that prioritize budget optics over the well-being of our students. As you know, after management conferred with you on September 24th and again during the emergency September 29th closed session, they still refused to engage in meaningful dialogue during the mediation process. The state mediator has now released UTR and the district to the final step of the statutory impasse process, a hearing before a state-appointed panelist. We invite Superintendent Cotton and every single board member to attend that hearing. Transparency builds trust and can move us closer to a one West Contra Costa. Meanwhile, this week, educators across our district are engaging in a strike authorization vote. Every member, every voice, united in the belief that we can and must fight for the schools that our students deserve. Our fight is not just about wages. It's about justice, dignity, and stability. It's about ensuring that students have fully staffed schools, qualified specialists, and educators who can afford to stay in this district. That's why tonight you heard from one of our international educators who left their home country to serve our students and strengthen our classrooms. Their courage and commitment are a gift to West Contra Costa, but many have been met with bureaucratic obstacles, inequitable treatment, and uncertainty about their future here. UTR has proposed a new international educators article in our contract that ensures these educators are treated with fairness and respect, guaranteeing transparency in the visa processes, support from human resources, and equitable access to pathways for permanent residency and advancement. These educators are not temporary labor. They are an essential part of our district family. Their stability means student stability. UTR has provided clear roadmap through our bargaining proposals that are rooted in justice and solutions, not slogans. Competitive salaries that close the wage gap and revolving door of turnover. Enforceable class sizes and caseload limits so that students get the attention that they deserve. Real investment in district hired educators and support staff, not outside contractors. Protections and equity for our international educators who keep our classrooms whole. And an accountability for framework that centers students' learning and justice, not just austerity and outsourcing. Remember, these aren't radical demands. They are building blocks for a functional, just, and thriving public school system. We stand ready to work toward a settlement that respects educators, honors students, and restores stability to West Contra Costa. But make no mistake, our community
Next standing report is CBOC.
Good evening. You know, most of the board and some district staffers are aware that the state and board policy limit the time that members of the community are allowed to volunteer to serve as a member of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. We are limited to no more than 3 consecutive 2-year terms before, as required by board policy. We are required to sit out for 2 years before being allowed to step forward for consideration once again. It's as if once a volunteer CBOCer becomes well-trained and invested, the district wants to throw them away and replace them with someone who knows nothing. Before being allowed to return to CBOC to begin my 13th year, I'm going through the process begging the board to favorably approve my request to continue. In just a few minutes, my application will come before the board for consideration. I would hope that you look upon it favorably. We have another CBOCer that should be submitting her renewal application shortly before she terms out in early December, and I hope that her application is met favorably as well. The community needs to feel that the $2.4 billion of their tax dollars are being spent properly, and that's why the state has mandated that there be a community-based independent oversight body. One of the key components of this oversight is their independence. This should be a no-brainer and even be welcomed by senior staff and elected representatives of the people. Up and down the state, however, and even here in West County over the years, that has not always been the case. Grand juries up and down the state, including here in West Contra Costa County, have been critical of the fact that while school boards and districts proudly boast of the independence of their bond program oversight, the actual independence of that oversight is anything but independent. School boards and staff decide who is allowed to apply to these CBOCs, how frequently they can meet, what kind of information they're allowed to review, what's on their agenda, what kind of access they are allowed to the projects, who they are allowed to talk to about the bond programs, and even what information the auditors are allowed to audit. Even here with the WCC-USD Board of Education, we had a former trustee that angrily interrupted a CBOC meeting to sternly admonish us that we, the board, don't work for you, that the CBOC works for us, the board. How can the board boast of the CBOC's independence when they firmly believe that the CBOC works for them? Even a narrow interpretation of the statute as codified by Prop 39 passed in 2000 would lead the reader to grasp that the CBOC works not for the district or the board, but for the people of West County. We've been struggling for 6 years to engage the board in a conversation about updating what is included in the bond program performance audit that would allow the CBOC to actually speak with the auditors so they might know that there is more than what is being spoon-fed to them by the very people they are auditing. When we have tried to bring this up for a discussion, we've been told by the board that it wasn't important enough to warrant a discussion. The CBOC takes the oversight of the bond program very seriously. We put a lot of time and resources into this oversight and would only hope that we're taken seriously and listened to. How many of you are aware that we have more bond dollars committed to projects right now than in any other time since the program was even considered 27 years ago? Out of the $2.4 billion total authorized by the public, the board has budgeted about $700 million for projects that are being built right now. If you attend a CBOC meeting and look at the agenda packet, after we go through the normal startup stuff, we dive right into updates about the current projects. This is followed by a suite of financial reports that has been fine-tuned and honed by many dozens of CBOCers over the years. We don't want to waste staff's time preparing reports of little use or value. These updates and reports comprise about half of our meeting time. Then we get into CBOC business, annual reports, mentoring, training, administrative stuff. This is all the icing on the cake, but the project updates and financial reports, that's the cake. Despite admonitions from some board members, we run our meetings somewhat loosely. As the current chair, I invite everyone to sit at the grown-ups table. We have no countdown clocks to stare into to stifle comments from the CBOC and members of the public. Even with public speakers, we don't stand on the formality of speaker request forms. I just ask them to raise their hands with relevant questions and comments. At the end of every meeting, I ask for future agenda items, and then I make sure they're agendized. A few months ago, we were even asked to agendize a musical cello recital from one of our members, and just as the board often does, we started our next meeting with a soul-calming musical interlude. We are still down one of our elected allotted positions. I live in a lot of positions. Can't speak. If my application is rejected, we'll be down 2. And if the upcoming renewal doesn't happen, the community will be down 3 positions. If anyone wants to submit an application, they can find the online application in the lower left-hand corner of the CBOC website. If anyone has questions, I invite you to reach out either by phone at 510-685-2403. That's 510-685-2403, or email at dongosney@comcast.net, DONGOSNEY. Our next meeting will be Monday evening, the 20th of October at 6:15 PM at 1400 Marina Way South. The entrance is at the south end of the building. Spanish translation will be
Thank you to everyone who gave a standing report. We're moving now to number 10, agenda review and adoption. We want to move up the Voices and Richmond College Prep to right after the superintendent's report, or do you want to move it right after?
I think if I may, right before the superintendent report, just those two items.
Before?
Yeah,
Okay.
if that's okay with
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
else.
it's fine with me. Okay. And then just for the rest of the board, it's very possible that items we'll pull them at the end, but let's see how we do time wise. But otherwise, we'll just accelerate what needs to get done tonight. Okay. Okay, so then we will do that. Any other comments from this side? Okay, so then we're moving to number 11, approval of the minutes, August 6th, September 9, September 10, September 10 special meeting, and September 17. Does anybody have any corrections on those items? Seeing none, we'll accept them as presented. Moving now to number 12.
Make a point of order.
Resolution number 2526-26.
Could I make a point of order? Well, if we could go back to the agenda, I know you accepted it with unanimous consent. But is there any way to go ahead and pull what you think that we can table to another time? So if we get through this agenda, I think that we're kind of spent. Do you know what I mean? Am I not being clear? Let me be clear. You said that there are a number of things that we may have to table or pull. Can we go ahead and just table and pull them? So if the meeting ends up short tonight, great, we can just end. And if not, we don't have to extend it.
Sure. Superintendent Cotton, do you want to go through both discussion and action items about things that can come off that aren't time sensitive? I think like the board policies, I don't think we need to do that. So if you can consult with cabinet, and we'll just to see if there's anything that we can just take off.
I believe that the public hearing item,
that would have to do
the sufficiency needs to happen
Yes.
tonight. We can hold on our policies. We wanted to talk through the CSBA policy contract, but that can wait until our next meeting.
Sorry, Superintendent Khan, can you say the numbers, like E2, we can
Sorry.
pull off?
So we're looking at E1 needs to stay. E2, we could table. E3 needs to be addressed.
And
E4 needs to be addressed this evening.
Okay, F discussion items, F1, public hearing for voices stays and it's moved up. The board policies, we can
table those.
And then El Cerrito High Schools. It has
That needs
stay.
to happen today.
Okay.
That needs to happen. And that'll be brief. Very brief.
Okay.
So I would like to make a motion to table E2 and to table F2 until the next board meeting.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
Okay, so it's moved by Smith Folds, seconded by trustee Gonzalez Hoy. Ladies, your first vote, you actually get to vote first. By law, students vote first, so I'm gonna come this way and then move over here and then come back. So we're the motion on the floor is to table a CSBA policy services contract and board policies under F2. We have a number of board policies that we were gonna read through. So it's been seconded. Any questions on that from anyone?
Just to be clear, when I say table it, it means not talk about it tonight, but talk about it at the next meeting. So my motion is I don't want to talk about E2 tonight or F2 tonight. I want to wait and talk about E2 and F2 at the next meeting because of time. I'm complete.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions? Okay, we'll go to the vote then. So student trustee Miles,
Yes.
student trustee Hahn.
Yes.
Then I've been asked to come over here. They want to go last. Trustee Gonzalez Way,
Yes.
trustee Smith Folds,
Smith Folds, yes.
trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
clerk Kenyatta,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Motion passes. Okay, so now that all of that is done, we're up to B12, Resolution 2526-26, Filipino American History Month.
Thank you. And good evening, Board, Superintendent Cotton, staff, and community. Now therefore be it resolved that the West Contra Costa Unified School District's Board of Education does hereby adopt Resolution number 2526-26 to recognize Filipino American History Month and to mark the achievements and contributions of Filipino Americans in West Contra Costa County and throughout the United States of America.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the board on the item? Is there any public comment on the item?
Mitchell?
President Reckler, Superintendent Cotton, it's wonderful that the board is recognizing Filipino American History Month, as these educators have contributed since 1998 to the well-being of our students and to our district. We have an opportunity now to recognize their achievements and their contributions by regularizing their status and calming the fears of the scores of Filipino educators and their families that are on different types of visas employed by our district. President Trump has changed the nature of what it means to be a non-citizen in our country, and these educators are facing the stress that all non-citizens are. But you have, the board members of our district have in their hands the ability to create stability and a pathway to legal permanent residency for at least 55 educators, the great majority of whom are Filipino Americans. Take this opportunity to do the right thing, act on your values, and let's support a pathway to legal permanent residency for every international educator, the great majority of whom are Filipino Americans, to become a permanent member.
Thank you for your comment. I'll accept a motion on resolution 2526-26, Filipino American History Month.
President Reckler, I move that we approve resolution number 2526-26, Filipino American History Month.
Is there a second? Okay, so it's moved by Gonzalez Hoy, seconded by trustee Smith Folds. Any additional comments from the board? Seeing none, we'll go to the vote. Student trustee Miles.
Yes.
Student trustee Hahn.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Hoy.
Yes.
Trustee Smith Folds.
Smith Folds, yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
And clerk Kenyatta.
Yes.
And Reckler is a yes. Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. To resolution 2526-29, Indigenous Peoples Day 2025.
Thank you. Now therefore be it resolved that the West Contra Costa Unified School District Board of Education hereby and henceforth recognizes the second Monday of October as Indigenous Peoples Day and commend its observance to all members of the WCCUSD community.
Thank you so much. Is there any questions from the board on the item? Is there any public comment on the item?
No public comment.
Okay, I'll accept a motion on resolution 2526-29, Indigenous Peoples' Day.
President, I move resolution number 2526-29, Indigenous Peoples' Day, 2025.
Thank you.
Smith Folds, seconds.
By Gonzalez Hoy, seconded by trustee Smith Folds. Is there any additional comments on the item? Seeing none, we'll go to the vote. Student trustee Miles.
Yes.
Student trustee Hunt.
Yes.
Clerk Gonzalez Hoy.
Yes.
Trustee Smith Folds.
Smith Folds, yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Clerk Vignano.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes unanimously. All right, moving now to resolution number 2526-28, National Bullying Prevention Month.
Now therefore be it resolved that the West Contra Costa Unified School District's Board of Education does hereby recognize October 2025 as Bullying Prevention Month and October 22nd, 2025 as the Unity Day, and encourages all educators, staff, students, and community members to create a world without bullying through actions of kindness, acceptance, and inclusion.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the board on the item? Is there any public comment on the item?
There's no public comment.
Great. I'll accept the resolution.
Resolution 2526-28. I second.
Okay, so it's moved by Smith Folds, second by Clerk Vignano. Moving to any additional comments? Seeing none, moving to the vote. Student trustee Miles.
Yes.
Student trustee Han.
Han votes yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Hoy.
Yes.
Trustee Smith Folds.
Smith Folds, yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
And then Clerk Vignano.
Yes.
And yes, motion passes unanimously. 15, resolution number 2526-27 of the school administrator.
Now therefore be it resolved that the governing board of the West Contra Costa Unified School District recognizes the Week of the School Administrator and commends all school leaders in the West Contra Costa Unified School District for the contributions they make to successful student achievement.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions on the item? Is there public comment?
No public comment.
I'll accept the motion on resolution number 2526-27, Week of the School Administrator.
I'll move resolution number 2526-27, Week of the School Administrator.
All right, by Clerk Vignano, second by Gonzalez Hoy. Are there any additional comments on the resolution? You had make me laugh. Seeing none, to the vote. Student trustee Miles.
Yes.
Student trustee Han.
Yes.
Clerk Gonzalez Hoy.
Yes.
Trustee Smith Folds.
Smith Folds, yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Clerk Vignano.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we're up to C, business items. Does anybody want to pull anything from the consent calendar? I do. I want to pull C12, Citizens Bond Oversight Committee appointment for a roll call vote. Anybody want to pull anything else?
Thank you. I'd like to pull C9.
C9, legal contracts. Anybody want to pull anything else? Okay, consent is approved with pulling of C12 and C9, which will move on at the end.
Point of order, can I pull C6?
C6, request qualification proposals for providers. Okay, got it. C6, C9, and C12. Without anything else, the rest of consent is passed. Okay, up to D, superintendent report. Superintendent Cotton, all you. Oh, wait. Sorry about that. Hold on. We're going to do, you want to do voices first or Richmond College prep?
Whichever you would like, but we did move them both before the superintendent report.
Right. You want to do voice?
Whichever you prefer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do voices first. So we're moving now to F1 discussion item for voices. Does somebody from the district, from WCCUSD, who's going to do voices?
Good evening, trustee Reckler. I can speak on behalf of Margarita Romo with the Business Services Office. So I'll introduce the Voices College Bound Language Academies, West Contra Costa, this evening presenting their charter renewal petition. This is a public hearing to hear the presentation. There's no action required tonight. I'll review that the Voices West Contra Costa School was.
Sorry, can we have you hold for a second? We can't hear. You guys can't hear?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
They can't hear out there.
Is that better? Are you able to hear now?
Go ahead, do a sound check.
Okay. Everybody can hear?
Feedback. There's feedback up here. Yeah, very bad.
Is that better yet?
Still feedback.
Okay,
Can you talk again so
Testing.
that we can set the level?
sure. Testing a little bit here. Testing. 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 All right, let's see if it's better.
There's still feedback. I can't really hear him, but
Okay. Is this better?
Up here.
Testing. 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 Okay. All right. So in March of 2025, the California Department of Education categorized Voices West Contra Costa as a middle performing school based on 22-23 and 23-24 data, which puts them in the renewal category of a 5-year renewal period. We can move, okay, we're on the right slide. Perfect, thank you. So the charter renewal petition is presented in the final year of the current charter period. Voices Charter School was issued their current period in 2017 for the years 2018 and then extended by California twice and is expiring in June of 2026, which is why they're submitting their petition this year. We have 60 days to arrange this public hearing, which period started in August 20th of this year. So we're at day 49 right now within that legal period. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Voices, and they have their renewal petition presentation ready for you tonight.
carried. Comments carried.
Shall I just begin with this slide, or did you want to make it bigger? If you can start with the first one, and then I can just go from there, that's fine. I think that's fine. Okay. Our story began with families in West Contra Costa came together with a dream to bring high quality dual language program to our community. That dream became a reality in 2018 when Voices College Bound Language Academy West Contra Costa opened its doors. Since then, we've grown into a fully realized school serving more than 400 students. Our story is best told by soaring with purpose, grounded in excellence, and embraced with radical love. Love amplified, love with a double shot of social justice. It's about courage to struggle with purpose and to act with conviction. Good afternoon, President Reckler, Clerk Inyana, Trustees Smith-Folds, Gonzalez Oren, Hernandez, Superintendent Cotton, and team. It's a pleasure to see you and to address you again. My name is Carrie Shemansky, and I'm the proud principal of Voices WCC, joined today by our dedicated staff, students, and families who represent the heart of our school. Our purpose today is to respectfully request your support in granting Voices WCC a 5-year charter renewal under Ed Code as a mid-tier school. The renewal allows us to sustain the stability we've built, continue delivering high-quality instruction, and remain a dual language school choice for our families across West Contra Costa. The renewal is about honoring the promise that families set in motion nearly 10 years ago to create a school where every child in every language can belong, thrive, and soar. Just stay on that slide, please. We prepare students for the challenge of higher education and for life in a multicultural world. Our families want more than test scores. They want an education that's culturally affirming, where students are proud of who they are and the language they speak in their community. Our families want their children to preserve their native language or gain a new one, opening doors to the global community. This is a space where English learners, native Spanish speakers, and students new to both languages learn side by side. Voices is unique among charter schools in West County. Our dual language program is rooted in equity and belonging. We see bilingualism as an academic advantage and as a form of social justice and empowerment. Next slide, please. Between 2019 and 2022, we did face challenges. The pandemic and leadership turnover left us with principal vacancies, high turnover, and uneven student progress. The turning point began in December 2022 when I started as principal. My promise to this community was simple: to restore stability, rebuild trust, and deliver the quality of education our families were promised and deserve, nothing short of excellent. In 2024-25, we began a full TK through 8 program, fulfilling the promise that the Richmond community set in motion. Next slide. Next slide. Families asked us for more than a school, a place where their children could be connected to their culture and be seen for who they are. Today, we are fulfilling that promise. We're grounded in the belief that character and scholarship do go hand in hand. Our goal, to become a national school of character. We've created a place where students feel safe, valued, and proud. Suspension rates remain low, attendance is strong, and families see us raising compassionate, resilient, bilingual leaders who embody our core values of In La Cache, activism, Si Se Puede, and scholarship. Next slide. As author and activist Bell Hooks wrote, "The practice of love is the most powerful antidote to the politics of domination. The choice to love is a choice to connect, to find ourselves in the other. We live that belief daily by intentionally creating spaces of inclusion, equity, and belonging where every student in every subgroup in every language can gain the lifelong advantages of dual language immersion. At Voices, belonging means honoring every student's story and giving them the tools to succeed. Next slide. We have gone from a school marked by turnover to a team that is growing and deeply committed to our mission. The result is 100% staff retention. This stability has created the foundation for everything we do: academic growth, cultural connection, and a sense of belonging. Together, we are soaring. Next slide. And next slide. As a community school, families see the power of dual language immersion, and enrollment is increasing. We are intentional about visibility, showing up at community events like Cinco de Mayo, Juneteenth Day, Soul and Spirit, and Go Public Schools. These recruitment moments matter. We've also listened closely to district representatives and through our material revision process, pushing us to rethink our recruitment efforts. It is our responsibility not just to recruit, but to inform all parents of the benefits of our dual language program, benefits that set their children on a path of academic excellence. Next slide. The Voices WCC community has fueled growth. Our recruitment efforts have built stability, growing nearly 70% in 3 years. And as you'll see in the next slide, Voices WCC financial position will allow us to meet the needs of our students as we grow. Next slide. Enrollment stability has given us the confidence to move forward, and our financial health is what makes all this hard work possible. This year, we made an intentional investment in our community by expanding, ensuring that more families can access our program. I want to thank personally the board for approving that expansion and believing in the vision that was first set in motion by Voices families. None of this is possible without strong financial stewardship. Because Voices WCC is on solid financial footing, we can expand facilities, sustain programs, and invest directly in student learning, ensuring that we remain true to the vision that started it all. Next slide. A clear sign of that progress is a 23% decrease in chronic absenteeism, and we are on track to continue decreasing. When students are in school, academics grow. Students' outcomes will continue to rise. We have stronger academics, higher parent satisfaction, intentional enrichment, and a culture of joy and belonging. When students feel safe, supported, and engaged, they want to be at school. And when they're at school, they succeed. Next slide. Students also succeed when families are engaged. We built intentional structures and events ensuring families stay informed and involved. Through partnerships with ARPAL, the Latina Center, and the 5Cs Coalition, to name a few, we've expanded opportunities and strengthened homeschool connections. We also want to thank the board for your recommendations to create cultural advisory groups. We've taken that to heart, and we will purposely continue to build safe spaces where all families feel represented, heard, and have a sense of belonging. We appreciate this partnership to improve, to soar to excellence, and to ensure our school truly reflects the diversity of Richmond. Next slide, please. Our teachers feel seen, valued, and connected. Many were new to the profession, and they've chosen to stay, grow, and invest in themselves. We've also strengthened our team through J1 Visa partnerships, welcoming international educators who bring diverse perspectives and reflect the languages and cultures of our students. Our families deserve a stable, committed team that mirrors the community we serve. Next slide. In 2024-25, our foundation produced measurable results. District standard scores rose more than 20 points. MAP results surpassed pre-pandemic levels. And IXL data shows students making more than 1 year's growth in 1 year's time. We're accelerating towards excellence. Our students are learning, thriving, and providing what's possible when stability, purpose, and trust align. Next slide. Next slide. When I became principal in 2022, I made a promise, and that promise is our continued path forward. We built a cohesive, standards-based instructional model grounded in MTSS. We've strengthened curriculum, expanded professional learning community collaboration, and invested in PD so that every student receives rigorous, equitable Tier 1 instruction. Our inclusion model ensures that all students, Gen Ed and Special Ed, learn side by side, supported by co-teaching and strong family partnerships. As we move ahead, we are deepening our coursework through social justice aligned learning, honoring families' desire for an education that reflects their heritage, values, and hopes for their children's future. And next slide, please. In just 3 years, we restored stability, strengthened academics, rebuilt trust, and renewed the promise that families made when they founded this school. Voices WCC stands ready for the next chapter. And so today, with deep gratitude for our teachers, students, and families who soar with purpose and are grounded in excellence, we respectfully ask for your support in granting a 5-year charter renewal. This renewal allows us to continue building a school where every child belongs, learns, thrives, and can be the best version of themselves. A deep commitment embraced in radical love. Thank you for your partnership in this process. Trustee Smith-Folds, Clerk Enyana, Trustees Gonzalez Oy and Hernandez. Thank you for your visit, helping us to continue positively impacting our students, families, and community. We are grateful. And also thank you for moving us up on the agenda. Team and I would be open to any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So I need to admit an error, which is that I did not open up a public hearing. So I'm going to open up a public hearing now. We'll go back through legal counsel and figure out if there's something else we need to do. If we do, we'll have you back next week so that you can start the first part of it. But I'm opening the public hearing on the renewal of Voices College Bound Language Academy. Staff provided the remarks, and those voices will prevent information on the renewal of their charter. The district granted the charter school's original petition in April 12, 2017, beginning July 1, 2018. The active petition was submitted by Voices on January 18, 2017 for a period of 5 years, then extended by Assembly Bill 130 and Senate Bill 114 to expire June 3, 2026. The petition submitted for this current period was received by district staff on August 20th, 2025. And if removed, the term would be for 5 years, July 1, 26 to June 30th, 2031. Renewals for charter schools now are bound by the guidelines spelled out in AB 1505, which utilizes a 3-tiered system for performance indicators as reflected in the California School Dashboard. Under AB 1505, the renewal charter schools must meet specific criteria. The district has formed a comprehensive review team to evaluate the submission of voices. The district staff will post their review and findings for this petition no later than 15 days before the decision hearing, which is planned for December 3rd, 2025, December 3rd, 2025 board meeting. So opened at 9:19 p.m. You've made your presentations. If we have to redo it, we'll have you come back and redo it if we need to do that for the record. Board members will ask questions. We will take public comment, and board members may have additional questions, and we'll close it out. So questions from board members on the petition?
Thank you. I do have one question for WCCUSD. What's the name of the?
What's the metrics?
Metrics, eccentric and metrics. For Mr. Douglas. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
On your presentation on slide 2, you mentioned that the petition is coming back on December 3rd for the official decision. We changed our board meeting to December 8th because it was conflicting with CSBA. So, but December 8th would put us out of compliance with the timeline. So will the petition come for a decision in November? That's my question.
December 8 is within the 120 days that I believe Voices agreed to. It would be December 20th would be the 120-day mark.
Got it. I couldn't hear, but I think I heard you say that we're still good on December 8th. Is that correct?
We should still be good on December 8th.
Yeah, we'll be good. It's December 20th is what he said. is the plan.
Right, got it. Thank you.
Take a little bit and make sure it's scheduled properly.
Thank you.
Is that the only question? Anybody else have questions on the side? Okay, so for voices, in your petition renewal, I'm sorry, your page, you don't have a number on your page, but it's figure 1.12. 1.12 is about
1.12, Deanna.
figure 1.12. This is projected by grade through 2029, 2030. Somebody please be able to explain to me how you calculate enrollment, because once again, I don't see people dropping out, and it's just not the way it works. You don't hold all your students through every grade. There is some attrition.
President Reckler, I can try to address that, and if you have any other questions, you can just let me know and I can refer to the team. Our model uses both attrition and backfill, not simple rollovers. Over the past 2 years, our cohorts actually grew by an average of 3.6 students and then 4.3 students this past year, even accounting for attrition. So for projections, we have like a conservative route. We also can provide that information when we work with our back office partner, EdTech, and we can confirm the assumptions and aligns with, because they align with the state guidance for enrollment projections. But again, it's attrition and backfill from our wait list.
What's your break even on students? Do you have a break even number?
I can get that for you in a second. A break even on students. A break even on students. It will be 414.
414 is the.
That's correct.
Thank you. Next, moving on to special education. Do you run a ESN extensive support needs class? Or do you have students that are ESN extensive support needs?
I can ask Anne Marie, our Director of Special Education, to come up. And then can you repeat the question for her, please?
Yes, the question is, it's actually both. Do you have a ESN extensive support needs classroom? Or do you serve ESN extensive support needs students? And do you have an MMSN mild to moderate support needs classroom, or mild to moderate support needs students?
So we do not currently have any extensive support needs students that have enrolled in our school. We certainly have spoken about our opportunities to support them if they were to enroll. So currently our mild moderate support needs students are served within the inclusion model. And then we also have a learning center where any students who may need to be pulled out for any services, they're utilized in that area.
And do you know how many students you have in your program?
We have 58.
58 for the SN. Okay. Okay, thank you. Anybody else have questions? Okay, any additional comments from the board? Okay, that it completes the questions that we have for you. I'm going to close the public hearing at 9:24 p.m. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for hanging with us this time.
Sorry, we need to do public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do public comment on it? Public comment? If there's a lot, can we have people line up to save some time?
Okay, please line up if you hear your name called. Iari Rodriguez, Ana Vargas, Devagi De Leon, Talita Vieira, Claudia Gill, Sofia Villalobos Zuniga, Alejandro Zavala Jr., and myself.
First, I want to thank you for taking the time to come out, taking time out of your busy schedule to visit our school.
It truly meant a lot to see you walking our halls and witnessing the hard work and joy and pride that our students bring every day. I believe that Voices provides an incredible value to our community. As a dual immersion school serving TK through 8th grade, we offer families a rare and powerful opportunity to see their children into bilingual, biliterate, and multicultural members of our community. Tonight is a testament to our grit and resilience of the Voices community. I've seen activism, one of our core values, for our parents, students, and I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this. Tonight, I'm here to ask you to approve our charter so that we can continue the pattern of students supporting families and strengthening our community together. Thank you.
Hola, miembros de la Junta Escolar. Mi nombre es Ana Suazo. Yo soy abuela de Voices y también formo parte del equipo de liderazgo. Mi razón de estar aquí hoy es para apoyar a la escuela de mi nieta. En Voices mi nieta ha estado desde kindergarten y ahora está en 3er grado. Mi razón por llevar a mi nieta a Voices es para mí que la escuela tiene buenos principios académicos. Por eso el día de hoy les pido que nos den el voto para la renovación. Gracias.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Davagi de Leon. I'm a parent of 2 children at Voices Charter School. I'm here to ask you, please don't close our school. Voices is more than a building. It's a vital part of our community. It provides not only strong academics, but also emotional, social, and cultural support that many families rely on. The relationships built here between students, teachers, and families are irreplaceable. What makes this school truly special is its bilingual program. It's in today's world, being fluent in English and Spanish is a critical skill. This school gives our children the tools to succeed in a global society. It also serves a diverse community, offering a safe, inclusive space where kids feel they belong. In a time where mental health and stability matter more than ever, this school is a lifeline for many. Please consider
Hello, good evening. My name is Sophia from the 4th grade class, and I am here representing Voices WCC. Our school is encouraging to us students, and our teachers support us anytime we need it. Also, we students help each other as much as the teachers help us. I am very proud of my school and how far we have gone by serving to excellence these past years. Our school is grateful with what we have, students and staff, even the materials are poor, but not enough for all. We all have built a community together everywhere we go, and that's why I say you should keep our school running. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Claudia Gil y yo soy abuela de 2 niñas, una en 3º y una en 4º. Ellas han estado desde kinder y han sido muy felices. Nosotros estamos muy felices con Voices. Queremos a todos los maestros y a todo el personal en general y les pido que no cierren la escuela, que no dejen a nuestros niños sin escuela y también a los maestros y a todo el personal sin su empleo. Gracias.
A ver, raza, les voy a pedir que se paren, por favor. Párense, por favor. Muy buenas noches, miembros de la escuela. Yo trabajo con 7,000 familias de escuelas charter aquí en West County. 300 de sus padres estuvieron aquí esta noche para hablar con ustedes sobre temas que les preocupan y que afectan a sus hijos. Entiendo que hay asuntos importantes que tratar a puerta cerrada, pero eso significó que estuvimos aquí 2 horas esperándolos. Muchas de nuestras familias se fueron sin ser escuchadas. Tenemos padres que empiezan su turno de trabajo a las 3 de la madrugada. Tenemos señoras, mamás fuertes, trabajadoras que limpiaron casas ajenas todo el día. Tenemos niños cansados que necesitan dormir. Espero que aunque no hayan escuchado sus preocupaciones esta noche, por lo menos los hayan visto y que comprenda qué gran dedicación y sacrificio hacen estos padres por la educación de sus hijos.
Thank you, members of the board. I am a second grade teacher at Voices in my 6th year. But I also speak for the 27 families who walked out and tapped me on the shoulder. They did want to tell you, don't close our school. I'm sure there's magic happening all over Contra Costa County, but Voices is also one of those places where magic happens in the classroom. Every day, my students come in and I promise they get right to work. They work on the handbook or paragraph sentences, and they come up and they show me if they're missing their conclusion sentence, which is the bottom. I say, Sophia, you got ketchup on your shirt. And she knows she forgot her conclusion and she goes back and does it. That type of joy, that creativity happens in every class at Voices. If I put a call out to parents, I get 6 parents in my classroom volunteering daily till the end of the school year. Voices is a special community. Please vote to keep our school open. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alison Pozo, and I serve Voices West Contra Costa as a first grade teacher. This is my 2nd year working on this team. Tonight, as a teacher, I want to highlight one of the most important things that we offer to our students. It's our dual language immersion program. The opportunity to learn English and Spanish from a young age give our students more chances to grow professionally in the future. I've seen how the ability to be multilingual has brought me from my country, Nicaragua, to this community, where I always tell my students that being bilingual is a superpower. Our school welcomes students from more than 13 countries, each with their own unique story. From our classrooms, we want to continue contributing to the Richmond community. Everyone is welcome, and we are ready to soar to excellence. Please vote yes. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Juliana Cupola, and my child attends Voices. Parents fought to bring this school here so that our children could succeed while staying proud of who they are. Today, my son is learning English and Spanish and has improved tremendously. The curriculum is one that works best for him. This is the most Spanish he has ever spoken, and this is thanks to Voices. May I ask of you today that you allow Voices to continue, because as a parent who values sound education, both academically and morally, I would say that Voices have been great in this regard. Therefore, I say, let Voices remain so that the students can thrive in our community. Thank you for your time and attention.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Josie Medina, and I am a J1 exchange teacher from Honduras. I have proudly served for almost 1 year as a 3rd grade teacher at Voices West Contra Costa. From the very first day, I have felt welcomed, valued, and supported by the school community. This experience has been a wonderful opportunity to share my knowledge and passion for teaching while also learning from my amazing colleagues. I have seen remarkable growth in my students, both in academics and in their confidence as bilingual learners. Being bilingual truly opened doors in life, and I stand here as an example of that truth. At Voices, diversity is celebrated. It has been an incredible experience to teach students from many cultures and to share my Honduran culture with them as well. As a mother, my daughter attends kindergarten at Voices, and I have witnessed the dedication of her teachers and how joyfully she felt welcome since the first day of school. I am
Good evening, members of the board. I'm gonna be real. I just started teaching at Voices Language Academy this year. And in only a few months, I've learned so much about our school, our students, and our community. These realizations have come quickly because what happens here is powerful and unique. Our school is not perfect. No school is. But in those imperfections, our students see something profound. They see adults striving, problem solving, lifting one another up. They see what it takes to succeed, not as individuals, but as a community. And on top of that, they are becoming bilingual, learning to read, write, and think in 2 languages. They are building confidence in who they are and where they come from. To close this school would be more than shutting down a building. It would be cutting off a living example of resilience and hope. It would be a disservice to the children.
Thank you. Please conclude your comments. Please conclude your comments.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Lupe Islas y soy estudiante de Voices de hace 7 años. Me siento muy feliz con los maestros que he tenido, todo lo que he aprendido hasta ahora. Soy bilingüe, respetuoso y orgulloso de mi escuela, mi comunidad y mi cultura. Quiero seguir aprendiendo y les pido la oportunidad de hacerlo en un lugar seguro, cariñoso, académicamente excelente, como es mi escuela Voices. Les pido hoy que voten sí para mantenerla abierta. Muchas gracias.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Lilia Islas, soy mamá de Lupe. Desde hace 7 años, junto a otras familias, hemos luchado y contribuido para que esta escuela se estableciera aquí y fuera mejor cada día, para que nuestros hijos tuvieran éxito y se sintieran orgullosos de sí mismos. Hoy, mi hijo lee en inglés y en español y lleva los pilares vividos en Voices más allá del aula. Esta escuela refleja nuestra comunidad y atiende grandemente las necesidades de nuestros niños. En ella somos familia. Por favor, renueven voces. Gracias.
Hi, my name is Saori and I'm in 3rd grade and I don't want the school to shut because it shows a lot of people that to learn. They're soaring every single day. I don't want it to close down. Please don't shut it down. I've been there for 1 year and I don't want it to shut down because they show a lot of kids, they change people's lives. They show everyone new things. The students soar to excellent for a long time and they show a lot of people new stuff.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mariela Labrada. I am a Caliber parent, a Making Voice Academy employee, and a 5C member. I am here to support Voices Academy because I believe that families and students deserve an academic institution that not only provides an education, but also offers a place where they can feel safe, accepted, and free to be themselves. This is especially important in times like these, when people are often other and targeted based on their physical appearance or background. While Voices is, of course, a place for learning, its dual immersion program also makes it a place that fosters a deep sense of inclusion and belonging. And belonging is an essential human need. Maintaining one's language is deeply connected to having a strong sense of identity, and that sense of identity is vital to our overall well-being and success in life. Voices Academy gives families the opportunity to preserve their language and through it, their cultural roots. something that shapes who we are and how we see ourselves in the world. So I ask you that you please
Hello, Superintendent Cotton, President Reckler, trustees, student trustees. My name is Anthony Durham. I'm a parent of Summit Tamalpais and a supporter of Voices Renewal. I'm here to support the renewal because I feel it's important for the students to have a school to go to where they feel they can learn and be their best selves, and for parents to have the choice to send their students, their children, to a school that best suits their needs. So I ask that you give them a full 5-year renewal. Thank you.
Buenas noches, mesa directiva, padres de familia y maestros. Mi nombre es Manuel Madrid, padre de William Madrid, un ex estudiante de la Escuela de Voices. Muy agradecido con Voices, ya que yo soy un padre inmigrante y el sueño, como todo inmigrante que viene a este país, es ver superarnos y ver la educación de nuestros hijos. Al principio, los primeros años fueron difíciles, ya que estuve buscando diferentes escuelas. Y gracias a Dios encontré Voices, y los 2 años de preparación para mi hijo en Voices fueron muy maravillosos, agradecido con los maestros, con el maestro Mr. Bernard, y luego ahora mi hijo está en una academia en la mejor escuela en San Francisco, y gracias a Voices. Yo espero que ustedes puedan continuar con la escuela de Voices y puedan votar sí para renovar su escuela por los próximos años, para la educación de los próximos hijos, de los próximos niños que vengan. Gracias.
Okay, thank you. Any public comment online?
No.
None? Okay. All right. So that concludes public comment. Any final comments from the board on the item? Okay, then I'm closing out the public hearing at 9:42. Thank you again to Voices, and that item is closed. I think we should take 5 minutes for the room to clear. Okay, so we're going to take 5 minutes for the room to clear. We'll be back at 9:48. Thank you. Okay, so we are back. The first thing we need to do is vote to extend the meeting. So what would we like to do here? Okay, well, I'm getting a little message that says that I cannot start my video because it's disabled by the host, but what I'm trying to do is just show my face on the camera. So maybe as we proceed, somebody can help me to figure out how to turn my camera back on. We're having one of those evenings. Okay, we're back. The first thing we need to do is extend the meeting. 10:30? 10:20?
I think we're gonna have to go later. We have a lot of items. We have right now RCP superintendent report. Then we have the public hearing on the TK textbooks. The resolution, and then the one discussion item, and then 3 consent items that we pulled. So I would suggest 11:30.
30. Somebody want to?
You repeat that?
He said 11:30.
I said it was suggest 11:30. I know.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved by Gonzalez Hoy, seconded by Inyana. Comments or another motion to put on the floor? We don't have to stay here until 11:30. If we keep, the meeting will end at 11:30. We can be done before that if we're efficient. Okay, so I don't see another motion on the floor, so we'll move to extend to 11:30. We'll start with student trustees. Student trustee Miles,
No.
student trustee,
No.
They're starting well. I like that.
student trustee Han,
No.
trustee Gonzalez Hoy,
Yes.
trustee Smith Folds,
No.
clerk Hernandez, trustee Hernandez, I'm sorry.
No.
Clerk Inyana,
Yes.
Reckler is a yes. So it's extended to 11:30, but we do not need to be here and I do not encourage that. Okay, so we're extended until 11:30. We're moving now to Richmond College Prep, which is item number E4. So for the school district, who's introducing Richmond College Prep? Ms. Payne, go right ahead.
Good evening, Board and Superintendent. Tonight, I am here introducing Richmond College Prep K-8 Charter School. They have submitted 2 intent to file applications for the Charter School Facilities Program under Prop 2. One of the applications is for new construction, which includes an additional classroom for each grade, and also rehabilitation, so modernization of district facilities at the district site. In the interest of time, the Preces has quite a lot of information about the program, and attached to the Preces tonight are both of the letters that were submitted, as well as the presentation we're about to hear. Also attached to the agenda tonight is the calculation for space in one of the requirements of the Charter School Facilities Program is that if it's for new construction, that there be a calculation, basically if the construction's going to help support overcrowding in the district is the intent. And as part of the district's review, or excuse me, as part of the state's review of the application, you can receive points for that. So we did complete the calculation for Richmond College Prep based on the application submitted, which is within the Kennedy High School attendance area. We do not have overcrowding in that area. And so that is also just a draft resolution with some data available and attached to the Preces as well. So the Charter School Facilities Program has about $600 million. It is a competitive program and it provides 50-50 matching grant and loan dollars for charter school facilities. And so with no further ado, I will introduce you to the Richmond College Prep team so they can share a little bit more about the application that they are intending to file. And before you tonight is the request to approve the rehabilitation agreement, which is required to submit that application. Turn it over to you. Welcome.
There we go. Good evening, Board President Reckler, trustees, and Superintendent Cotton. My name is Dr. Keisha Pryor, and I have the privilege of serving as the Chief Executive Officer of Richmond College Prep Schools. I'm honored to be here this evening, joined by RCP Board President, Mr. Neville Richardson, and our consulting partners from Campus LLC, Mr. Doug Giffen and Mr. Nicholas Romano. On behalf of the students, staff, and families of Richmond College Prep, I bring you warm greetings and deep appreciation for your continued partnership and support. This evening, we are here to respectfully request your support of our application for Proposition 2 funding, which will allow us to construct a permanent school building on the district-owned property where our students are currently learning in portable classrooms. Before discussing the details of this proposal, I'd like to share an overview of what we'll be talking about through tonight and then share a few key data points and highlights about Richmond College Prep, a school deeply committed to academic excellence, equity, and the success of every child. In our presentation, we will begin by sharing a brief overview of Richmond College Prep to include the demographics of the students we serve. We will then provide an overview of Proposition 2 and explain how it supports school facility improvements. We will highlight our current school site facilities, discuss the key elements of our Proposition 2 application, and conclude by sharing how this project will benefit not only Richmond College Prep students, but also the students of the West Contra Costa Unified School District. Next slide. Richmond College Prep was chartered through the West Contra Costa Unified School District in 2005 and has proudly served Richmond students for over 20 years. More than 90% of our students qualify for free or reduced lunch, demonstrating our commitment to supporting historically underserved communities. Our student population reflects the rich diversity of Richmond, approximately 79% Latino, 18% African American, with 43% English learners and 11% in special education. RCP's rigorous academic program is guided by evidence-based instructional practices that drive continuous improvement and academic growth. However, the current facilities lack the modern, dedicated spaces needed to effectively support student learning and staff collaboration. And now I will pass it on to Mr. Doug Giffen. Next slide.
Thank you, Dr. Pryor. My name is Doug Giffen, and I run Campus LLC, a project management firm. As you've already heard, Proposition 2 is similar to Proposition 51 and Proposition 1D funding previously provided through the California State Finance Authority, the CSFA. It is a voter-approved proposition that provides $8.5 billion in funding for school modernization, $600 million of which has been earmarked for charter schools. And it's important to note that this is a separate bucket of funds, and the charters do not compete with district schools for that money. Charters can apply for funding to rebuild their campuses, and awards are given out competitively for both rehabilitation of existing buildings and construction of new. Next slide, please. Richmond College Prep's existing campus is made up of 21 portable buildings, most of which are 20 years old. These portables are currently maintained by the district. Next slide, please. RCP's Prop 2 application requests funding to remove the existing portable buildings and replace them with a new classroom building. The new building would include the 20 replacement classrooms along with 10 additional classrooms. Next slide, please. Richmond College Prep is seeking your approval to make the application for this Proposition 2 funding through the CSFA. The project has significant benefits to both RCP and West Contra Costa Unified. You will get a $32 million investment in your property at no cost to the district. RCP would manage the entire process with regular updates to the district. In addition, the project would shift obligation for facility upkeep and expense from the district to RCP. Given the age of the buildings, this would save the district close to $1 million over the next 5 to 10 years. It would also shift the cost of structural repairs and property damage insurance from the district to RCP. A successful Prop 2 application would be a huge win for both Richmond College Prep and West Contra Costa students, and we hope you will give your approval tonight. If RCP is awarded funding, a series of additional agreements would be worked through with the district for the transfer obligations to RCP and to allow for the construction of the project. I tried to keep it brief, given the time. Thank you, and we are available for any questions you have.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Are there any questions from the board? Go right ahead.
Thank you. My first question is for Ms. Payne. So if we were to approve this and RCP gets given the Prop 2 matching funds, how long would they then own, for lack of better words, correct me on my lingo, please, own the lease to the new building?
So that's a great question. What's before the board tonight is the rehabilitation agreement, which is a required component to submit the grant application. If the grant application then moves forward for funding, before there would be any funding, there's a series of additional agreements that need to be approved. One of them is a use agreement, and the use agreement is one. Talk closer to the mic. Okay. Okay, is that better? Okay. So one of the agreements is the use agreement, to which the district would be a party to. One of them is the finance agreement that is between the charter school and the finance agency. And then ultimately there's an MOU. So there would be a series of agreements that would come back before the board that would require approval to move forward at that time. And a lot of those details would come out of the negotiation that would take place that then ultimately would come back to the board about the term. One of the things noted in the précis is that one of the conditions of the charter school facilities program is there is a successor clause. And so what that means is, should we move forward and the property was built, this new building was built using the funds from the charter school facilities program, in the event that RCP was not going to use those facilities in the future, the district would then have the responsibility to offer those facilities to another charter school program. And so we would then reach out. There's kind of a process for it. If no other charter group wanted the facilities, then the facilities could return back to the district for use. And so one of the other things kind of stated in that statute is if there is any debt remaining on the loan and the district then receives the property back, that would then become the district's responsibility. And so kind of also in the interest of time, I tried to lay that out in the précis and kind of just speak to the specific language that we pulled from the statute. So I hope that addresses your question.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. My next question is for RCP. And Dr. Pryor, welcome back. Good to see you. Could you answer the piece about why 10 additional classrooms than what you currently have in your space?
It's on. Can you hear me okay? Great. The 10 additional classrooms is a calculation based on pupil grants, which is how Prop 2 allocates fundings based on the number of students that the CDE recognized fits into individual classrooms. The pupil grants were allocated based on two different categories. One is existing RCP students are currently housed in classrooms that exceed that CDE loading. And so 3 of the classrooms are for existing RCP students to be housed in classrooms such that that loading can be consistent with CDE loading criteria. The remaining 7 classrooms are for RCP's growth goals to add 1 class per grade.
Thank you. Can you dig a little deeper? What do you mean by growth goals? Because aren't you currently at your petition maximum?
The charter petition includes a projected enrollment. It does not include a specific max enrollment.
Okay, thank you. That's it for me. Thank you, President.
Does anybody else have questions? So I would like to come back to if the current occupant of the new building failed to exist or decided not to be a school or went bankrupt or whatever the reason is that they would cease to exist. Would you please describe the process by which this goes out to other schools? Do you shop it? Do you run an ad in the paper? Is there a lottery? Is there, like, how does that, what does the law say about how that process unrolls?
It's an excellent question. With Prop 2 passing last November, there are continued conversations with the Office of Public School Construction that oversees it. And this is a question that a lot of other school districts have had with the state. And so there is a frequently asked questions kind of guide that the Office of Public School Construction has published. And that's one of the key questions that's been asked. And the answer at this time is still pretty vague. And so what is clear, I think, to school districts at this time is that ultimately it's our responsibility to do that. And that it's only if no qualifying or interested charters come forward that we can take possession of the facility. And so ultimately that becomes a district responsibility when there is a capital improvement or a building that is built with charter school facility program dollars on our site. So we would have to work through all of that.
And can you briefly describe what's a qualifying charter, and do we have qualifying charters in the district?
So that's an excellent question, but my expertise is more in facilities than qualifying charter. And so what I can share is that for this particular application, one of the requirements is that the charter entity must have been granted a charter petition by the appropriate chartering entity prior to the funding application submittal. So that's one of the grant requirement pieces. If your question is more specifically the definition of a successor charter school entity, I'm going to have to provide that in writing after following up to get a more concrete answer.
Okay, yeah, I'm just wondering, okay, RCP goes away, you have to offer it. What's that process? And is it only for district authorized charters? Is it county authorized charters? Can somebody from Vallejo decide, oh, we like that spot, we'd like to move in there? I'm just.
So it's my understanding, as we continue to kind of walk through what was approved by the voters and work with the Office of Public School Construction to further understand the implementation of this, it's my understanding that there are no restrictions to the locality, that it's offering to any qualifying or interested charters.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think that's all I have. Does anybody else have questions? Is there any public comment on the item?
Okay, to Gabriela Valencia, Sandy Loesa, Constance Anderson, Connie Anderson, and Tony Cuevas come to the podium.
Can I start?
Hold on a second, we'll put the timer. Not that one.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. My name is Gabriela Valencia, and I am a parent at RCP. I have a third and first grader. We've been part of Richmond College Prep for about 5 years, and I'm here to support RCP application for Proposition 2 funding to replace aging portables with safe, modern classrooms and to add up to 10 new rooms. These upgrades will give our students quiet learning spaces, better air quality, and enough room for the small group instructions, special education services, science, and art. This investment, about 32 million, will be made on WCCUSD-owned property, and RCP will manage the project at no cost for the district. That means better facilities for West County students without taking resources from other schools. As a parent, I want my child learning in classrooms that are safe, accessible, and built to today's needs. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, miembros de la mesa directiva. Mi nombre es Sandy Loesa. Soy madre de 3 niñas de Richmond College que asisten a Richmond College Prep y soy parte de la comunidad de Richmond College Prep. Estoy aquí para expresar mi apoyo a la asignación de fondos de la propuesta 2 para nuestra escuela. Estos fondos ayudarán a que nuestros estudiantes sigan recibiendo una educación de alta calidad y cuenten con los recursos que necesitan para aprender, crecer y tener éxito en RCP. Ha demostrado un compromiso fuerte con las familias y nuestra comunidad y esta inversión permitirá continuar ese trabajo tan importante. Gracias por considerar este apoyo que beneficia directamente a nuestros niños y a su futuro. Gracias.
Good evening, esteemed board members and Superintendent Cotton. My name is Connie Anderson. I'll keep my comments succinct since it is late. I come to you this evening to request that the board consider approving the Prop 2 project for Richmond College Prep Schools, and that this project will greatly benefit Richmond students and the district. Thank you. Good night.
Good evening, esteemed members of the board and all in attendance. My name is Tony Cuevas, and I am the Dean of Students and Volleyball Coach at Richmond College Prep, where I have worked for 8 years. I am a daughter of immigrants, first-generation college student, and a holder of both my bachelor's and master's degrees from prestigious schools. I share all of this about myself not to boast, but to show the board what futures are possible for students when schools like RCP are given the opportunity to expand and grow to meet the needs of their students. I am the product of a small K-12 charter school located in South Central Los Angeles, and I too began my education in portables. I was fortunate enough to experience the rebuilding of my campus, and I want the same for our students and families. I want them to be given the opportunity to grow alongside our school that I was given growing up. More classrooms and much-needed upgrades will equip RCP with the space and resources to cultivate the
Thank you. Please conclude your comments. Thank you. Please conclude your comments. Okay. I think we are up to the motion. Would anybody like to put a motion on the floor on this item?
I'll do a motion. So I put a motion that we approve the rehabilitation agreement authorizing Richmond College Prep to file the two applications for charter facilities program funding for new construction and rehabilitation for district-owned facilities at a district site.
Thank you. Is there a second on the item?
I second.
It was moved by Clerk Agnana, second by Trustee Hernandez. Is there additional comments from the board on the item? Seeing none, we'll go to the vote. Student Trustee Miles?
No.
Student Trustee Hahn?
No.
Trustee Gonzalez,
No.
Trustee Smith Foltz?
Smith Foltz, no.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Clerk Kenyatta,
Yes.
and Reckler is a no. Motion fails. Student trustees are noes. Gonzalez, Hoy, Smith Folds, and Reckler are noes. Hernandez and Inyana are yeses. Okay, thank you. That concludes that item.
President Reckler, sorry, we got a request from one of our student trustees if we could move F3 next.
Sure. So we're going to move now to F3, which is El Cerrito High School Permanent Power Restoration Project Update, discussion item only.
Yes, good evening. Tonight, I'm proud to present our Director of Facilities Planning and Construction, Ms. Mejia Hooper, who will share with us an exciting update on the El Cerrito High School Power Repairs Project. There is a presentation, and so while that comes up, I'll turn it over to her.
Good evening, Board Superintendent. Thank you for having me again. My name is Ellen Mejia Hooper. I'm the Director of Facilities Planning and Construction. As we're all aware, the El Cerrito campus has been operating under temporary power sourced by generators for quite a few months now. We have equipment on order, and we're excited to present tonight the repair project. I'm still stalling for the presentation. So we do have the equipment. It has been built, and it is in the process of finishing touches to be delivered. Next slide. So within the main electrical enclosure at El Cerrito High School, there's a variety of panels that serve as our main electrical service. This diagram represents those different panels. All the ones that are shown in gray are district owned. There is a transfer between district owned and PG&E that occurs in the bus duct. And the PG&E transformer is under their control. We will be replacing all of the units that you see there in gray as part of this repair project. Next slide. So the first step in this process was to procure and fabricate new equipment. This has basically been complete. We have the bus duct in possession of the subcontractor, and all the rest of the equipment is being transported tomorrow. Step 2 is for us to replace all of that equipment, and it happens in conjunction and interwoven within step 3, which is the inspection of the equipment as it is installed, as well as by PG&E. These steps are scheduled between on 2 weekends, on October 11th, and it will continue into the 13th, which is the non-school day, and October 18th and 19th. Once this is complete, it will allow us to interact with PG&E again, and they have a component that they need to replace in the bus duct. And then we will be hooked up to the transformer and back on the electrical grid operating under normal power. We anticipate, and we're tentatively scheduled for that to occur either the 26th, the 1st, or the 2nd. This will be dependent on everything going well with the install and the inspection and PG&E. Next slide. All right, I believe that's the end of the presentation. I will take any questions.
Great, thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions? So I do. For the record, what happened? Do we know what happened that brought the system down?
We will never have a complete understanding of the cause, but the failure occurred, if we want to go back one slide. The failure occurred between the busing and the bus duct. So there is an element between there that arced, and that means that the electrical current from different phases crossed over which caused a failure.
Is this something that is common or is this just a fact of business?
It's not totally uncommon. Eventually, there will be a failure within our electrical equipment. We don't see it obviously frequently, but it has happened before in the district.
Why has the repair taken so long?
So each of these parts have to be individually fabricated. They're not off-the-shelf components. We also had to interact directly with what is existing with the transformer and the existing pads. So all of those pieces had to be built. There was an evaluation that was originally done as far as how much of the equipment we could save from the original manufacturer. And so then once that evaluation was complete, we were able to design a new system and then get it fabricated and delivered. And so that process took time. In that process, we also had to get approvals for DSA of the design of the replacement. So there were multiple steps.
And then is it not possible to have, for lack of a better word, off-the-shelf products? Does everything have to be custom or is there are lots of schools all over the country? You know, does everybody have a custom system?
Well, to put this in perspective, right now we have already ordered our system for this for Kennedy, and we don't plan on being complete for that install until after February. So this is a standard amount of time that it takes for these kind of systems to be produced and delivered.
But you just can't go buy one from some industrial, I mean, everything is custom at every school site.
Yeah, the supply chain for this kind of equipment has this level of lead time. We incurred a higher level of lead time during COVID, and we're still recovering from that in the electrical equipment department.
Okay, it's still not the question though. The question is, everything needs to be custom. There isn't a off the shelf, that you go and buy. All of these have to be custom for each site.
Some of these components are off the shelf, for lack of a better word. So like our sub panels and our distribution panels are off the shelf. The duct bust is always custom.
Okay, all right, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions?
I have one question. Are all permits in place for the job to be completed during the scheduled time? No setbacks, everything?
Well, in construction, there's no guarantees. So the hope is that we have everything. Our electrical engineers know the electrical subs know the importance of this project. They have many spare parts and different components in their trucks so that if we run into a problem during one of these 2 weekends, as far as some of the connections, the bolts, the cables, they do have a variety of extra and different pieces so that we can pull them in and out. That is a discussion we've had with that contractor. So we are trying to take every precaution to have all of the pieces and parts together, as well as coordinating with an electrical engineer and our inspector of record to make sure that all of the important people that need to be there to ensure the safety of the system is in place and ready to start up in time, is ready to go. The other pieces, we have fail safes on our timing. So if something does go wrong and we realize that we will not be able to install something in time for the start of school, we will go back to our previous system and reinstall it if necessary so that we can make sure that school can open.
The other thing I just wanted to share really quickly, as it relates to the different permitting agencies and kind of all of the different people that we needed to coordinate, both fire agency and PG&E have been really supportive. And so while if this were a new project, if they were doing everything based on the book, it's 4 to 6 weeks for an inspection, things like that. this timeline would have been significantly longer. So I do just really want to appreciate Ms. Mejia Hooper for her really close coordination with PG&E, and also for PG&E and for Fire for partnering with us as a school district and really understanding the impact and really trying to help us do this in a way that is safe, doesn't interrupt student operations during the week, and really supporting this work happening in those off times, so that we can get this done as quickly as possible now that we do have the parts and pieces that we need.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
One quick one, thank you. How much have we spent in totality since this happened to today?
So there's a couple of components to this project. One of them is the required full-time fire watch, which is one of the conditions of keeping campus going. And so that's been kind of one bucket of cost. One of the other buckets of cost has really just been the fuel. So it's a very large campus. We use a lot of power. We now know that a lot better than we did before. We could tell you exactly how much it costs to operate different parts and components of our campus. And so we've been paying for the fuel. And then the third part is paying for a lot of the different components she just mentioned, the electrical contractor, the design, PG&E fees, and the parts and pieces. What I'd like to do is give you that exact number in a Friday memo, because I just don't have it off the tip of the tongue tonight. But we'll be happy to provide that. And we will continue to bring forward the continuance of the emergency. And once we have completed the full restoration of the permanent power, we'll be bringing the final one forward to then ask that the emergency be closed because it's now complete. And we also plan to bring that final dollar value at that time, because currently the budget that we have has created just some contingency for the things that we don't know until we're done. So happy to provide you with the budget that's been approved through tonight, and happy to bring that final number when we can all celebrate that we've completed this, this work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Could you elaborate on the difference between the work that's being done October 11th through the 13th, and I believe October 29th?
So the 11th and 13th, we're really going to bring in the equipment itself. So we will remove the old boxes and we'll crane in the new ones. And then there's a lot of internal connections that have to be made and tested before we can turn up the system. There is a chance that we might not need the full 18th and 19th to complete that work. But we wanted to make sure that we allotted the correct amount of time for that work to be completed. On the 13th, specifically, we have a coordination piece with PG&E to be able to install the meters that have to go within the main busing cabinet. And so while the electrician or the electrician will not be on site for doing the actual work on the 11th and 12th, the 13th is for that PG&E component. At least that's our best guess right now. On the following weekends of the 26th, the November 1st and 2nd, it's really the time for PG&E to complete the work to allow us to make the connections into the system. So they have specific components that they have to install within the duct bus to be able to connect us to the transformer.
And I think this brings me to another question. That is work on making the system and rebuilding the system. Would that be done while on the generators? When would we switch from the generators to the new system?
So for all of this work, we will have to fully shut down the campus. There will be no power on site. So part of the time allotment that will take to do this work is to disconnect the generators, do the work, reconnect the generators to make sure we can keep school running. And so that will happen every weekend to be able to do it.
And I would just add, the generators will remain until we have full approval from PG&E, from the inspector, basically from everybody that has jurisdiction over this project. And so once we have full approval for everything, everything is confirmed, that's when we will then remove the generators from the site. And so speaking to the budget, part of what we've included is we don't know for sure what that date will be. We have the date we'd like that to be if everything goes perfectly well. And so part of our commitment in this, and I want to share this as well, we just want to appreciate everyone for their patience and grace with this. It's been longer than any of us wanted it to be, and everybody has been really supportive. We're going to continue to bring updates. And so here's everything we know now. And so part of our communication plan is tomorrow we're going to be partnering on communication so that we can share this closely with the site community as well as the broader community as a follow-up to the board meeting. And then after each weekend, when we complete a scope of work, we're also going to do a communication so that you can kind of follow along the project with us and see the progress going. And so part of that communication plan will include the confirmation that we are complete, that we are approved, and that we are now removing the generators from the site.
That's it. Thank you.
Any more? Is there public comment?
There's no public comment.
Okay, great. Any other final comments? I would like to appreciate you, Ms. Payne, Ms. Mejia Hooper, for your unbelievable attention to this project. I know it has not been easy, and I know getting everything organized in split second, how many days was the school closed? One? It was just one before we were able to get things going there again. That's incredible. So really, thank you very much, and for your diligence and your reports to the board. So looking forward to seeing those green monsters leave campus. Okay, so that concludes that. Would you like to do your superintendent's report?
Absolutely. Is it ready to come on up? I just want to let you know that I have shortened my report this evening and will include some of the items that were not shared tonight in future presentations. See if they actually were shortened. Some announcements this evening. Yes. First, I'll begin by recognizing October as National Disabilities Awareness Month. This is a time for all of us to increase awareness, understanding, and commitment to inclusivity. Our community is strengthened by our diversity, and it's vital that we continue to support and celebrate the contributions of individuals with disabilities. Let's reflect on how we can create more inclusive environments, not just in our schools, but in all aspects of our lives. Next slide. We're also going to take a moment today to recognize and honor some of our most hardworking individuals in our school community, our custodians. We recently celebrated Custodian Day on October 2nd. This is a special day for us to recognize the dedication and hard work of our custodial staff. They play an essential role in maintaining a safe and clean environment for our students and staff. Next slide. We're also thrilled to highlight two important initiatives: Digital Citizenship Week from October 20th through the 24th, and Cybersecurity Awareness Month in October. Let's all take part in we'll be having some great activities and fun activities with students throughout the rest of this month to enhance their digital literacy and security skills. Next slide. Next week also, this is near and dear to my heart, we are celebrating this week of the school administrator. And so this is a special time to appreciate the dedication and hard work of our school leaders. Please pause next week and tell a school administrator, thank you. Next slide. We also have some really special milestones happening in the month of October. We are thrilled to announce that Kensington Elementary School is turning 100 years old. I know, let's give them a little celebration. Happy birthday. Okay. This is a remarkable achievement, and we're marking the occasion with a centennial celebration and STEAM night on Thursday, October 19th from 5 to 7. It's a great opportunity for the community to come together and honor this significant milestone. Additionally, we had another celebration at Hercules High School celebrating its 25th birthday. So please, thank you for being a part of our wonderful journey, and let's celebrate our schools. Next slide, please. So since actually, that's the section that I removed. We'll go to the next slide. I'll update you on what I did the last 2 weeks in 2 weeks. How about that? So what's coming up? There are some important things happening tonight. Well, we're excited to celebrate our college and career night. It's happening tomorrow night, October 9th from 5 to 7 at De Anza High School. This is a fantastic opportunity for our K through 12 students, so all students and families, to explore various college and career paths. Whether you're planning for college, exploring jobs, there's something for everyone. Please remember to mark your calendars and spread the word. We're looking forward to seeing you all there for an evening full of possibilities and inspiration. Next slide. We are also continuing to focus on our financial stability. We're diving into the details of our fiscal stabilization session 3 coming up soon. Session 3 will be held on October 23rd at Helms Middle School, October 27th at El Cerrito High School, and November 3rd at Hercules High School. There are also virtual options for these presentations, and the previous presentations have been recorded to be shared. Next slide, please. The district will be moving the volunteer clearance process to school sites beginning on October 15th. All volunteers will now be required to submit documentation of a cleared TB screening from a physician. Volunteer clearance will also include an annual renewal to ensure records remain up to date. We have extended the date for TB tests to be submitted to school sites to November 3rd. Parents and guardians who have children at multiple schools will need to submit their application and TB test for each school. This process encourages faster clearance at the site. So thank you for your partnership and for helping us maintain safe and supportive learning environments for all students. Next slide. Just want to remind you that the upcoming Citizens Bond Oversight Committee meeting is scheduled for October 20th. And will be held virtually, so please join us if you are able. Next slide. Today, we're also excited to talk about our fall job fair that's happening on October 25th here at DeJohn Middle School. This is a wonderful opportunity for those who are looking to join the West Contra Costa Schools community. So please come on out. Please spread the word as well. We have a number of positions that are open, both in certificated and classified. So please let folks know jobs are available. And then finally, for your awareness, I do want to remind you that for our youngest learners, our preschools enrollment is open. So please come and join the West Contra Costa family with our 3 to 5 year olds. It's time to enroll. Next slide. We are also focusing on our Fiscal Fridays. Fiscal Fridays is our initiative to keep our community informed and engaged with the district's financial updates and news. It's a fantastic opportunity for everyone to learn about how funds are being utilized to enhance our educational environments. So please join us take a look at Fiscal Friday information. Also, just want to remind folks about immunization clinics that are available at low cost across our district. So please, if you have not already, please make sure that your child is vaccinated. And then finally, there are many ways to be involved here in West Contra Costa with our school site councils, our parent advisory committees, and other committees that are coming up, including our parcel tax Stage Community Meeting, District Budget Engagement Committee, and our Fiscal Stabilization Planning meetings. So there are lots of ways to get involved. Please check us out. And if there are questions, I'm here to answer.
Thank you so much. Does anybody have questions?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know we're tight on time, but I wanted to just clarify on the new volunteer system. Is it a yearly renewal of a TB test or just a yearly renewal of a parent going to the system?
We have not, I don't believe we have collected TB tests over the last, Summer, if you can help, Ms. Sigler, if you can help me.
Yeah, the TB test lasts for 4 years. And so if a parent turns in a TB test, they should be okay for 4 years and we'll just collect that expiration date. But we do want them to reapply and ensure that we're clearing them in the system every year.
Got
So
it.
the application is annual, the TB test is every 4 years, but I'm not sure the last year that we've collected TB tests.
It is something that it appears we've been out of compliance on, and so we are working to come back into compliance.
So at this point, everybody.
Got it. I just want to make sure the communication that went out a few days ago,
Yeah.
it makes it look like you have to redo your TB test every year. So it's just the wording. So if you guys could send a clarification, I got a couple calls from people who are like, what do you mean we gotta do a TB test every year? Right? So I think that if you guys could clarify that, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. We will definitely make that clarification. We've also made the determination to extend. I know that it was a lot of pressure to try and get the TB test done in that window of time. We want to work with the community and make sure that folks have time to take care of that. Thank you.
I have a question on the TB test too, since we're on that subject. Is it the skin prick test or is it going to your doctor and having your doctor fill out that assessment form? Which one is the district doing?
It's my understanding that if you are not just, well, this is the physician's decision. If you are not displaying any risk factors, that they will complete the form that says that you are or have not demonstrated any risk factors. If you have, then it will be the skin test.
Okay, I might recommend more explanatory language around that too, because I wasn't, first I didn't know, and then second I got asked and I was like, now I really don't know. So maybe that would be a little bit helpful.
We
too.
can clarify and include that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the superintendent's report? Okay, that's great. There's so many great things going on. It's terrific. Okay, so now let's go back to the public hearing and approval of 2526-20 grades TK to 12 textbook and instructional materials compliance for fiscal year 25-26. And this time I am going to do it properly and open a public hearing. So I have opened a public hearing on Resolution 2526-20 grades TK to 12 textbook and instructional material compliance for fiscal year 25-26. The time is 10:43. The board will receive a presentation. The board will ask questions. The board will receive public comment. The board will have a chance to make other comments, and then I will close the public hearing. So for this, we're ready to begin. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, President Weckler, Clerk Inyana, Superintendent Cotton, members of the board and members of the community. In order to be eligible to receive state funds for purchasing textbooks and related materials, the governing board must hold a public hearing to invite parents, teachers, community members, and bargaining unit leaders to share whether or not textbook sufficiency and instructional materials for all required subjects, including mathematics, science, history, ELA and ELD, foreign language, health, and science labs. Once sufficiency is verified by our district, the board shall adopt the resolution. So I now declare that we are 100% textbook sufficient. The process that we have followed this year was that we collected textbook sufficiency forms from every teacher at every school in order to determine sufficiency. Each form was signed by the teacher to certify the availability of sufficient textbooks for students through our online informed K-12 system or a hard copy that was turned in. If the teacher was unable to sign the form, we did have the principal verify sufficiency for those classes. We also did collect signatures from each principal verifying school-wide sufficiency. And so based on the results of this process, we have determined that all students in West Contra Costa have all of the required textbooks and instructional materials.
Thank you very much. Do any board members have questions? Is there public comment on the item?
No public comment.
Okay, I will accept a resolution on the item.
President, I move that we approve resolution number 2526-20, Grace TK through 12 textbook and instructional materials compliance for fiscal year 2025 through 2026.
Thank you. Is there a second on the item?
I second.
Okay, so it's moved by Gonzalez Hoy, second by Hernandez. Any additional comments on the item? Okay, great. We will go to the vote. Trustee Gonzalez Hoy,
Yes.
trustee Smith Foltz,
Smith Folds, yes.
trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
clerk Kenyana,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Motion passes unanimously. I am closing the public hearing at 10:46 PM. Okay. Moving now to E3, Resolution 2526, resolution to identify the amount of revenue enhancements and/or budget reductions needed in 2526. I'm sorry. Sorry. Needed in 26-27 and 27-28, and to require that a list of revenue enhancements and/or budget reductions for 26-27 be included in the 25-26 second interim report. Dr. Moses, I believe this is your item.
Thank you. Good evening, President Reckler, Superintendent Cotton, Clerk Kenyana, and trustees of the board. Tonight I bring to you a resolution 2526-30, and this is in response to our review of the 25-26 LCAP and adopted budget. Pursuant to Education Code 33127, the county superintendent has issued a conditional approval letter dated September 15th, 2025. Conditional approval means the county superintendent approves the budget on the condition that the district takes certain actions to remedy deficiencies in the 2025-26 budget and the multi-year projections. This resolution is in response to the action needed to obtain approval for our budget. I'd like to read the resolution. Whereas the Board of Education has a fiduciary duty to meet its financial obligations in the current fiscal year and 2 subsequent fiscal years pursuant to Education Code 42127, and whereas for 26-27 and 27-28, it is projected that the district will need to implement revenue enhancements and/or budget reductions. And whereas while these actions must be taken to maintain the fiscal stability of the district, the Board of Education will continue to make every effort to sustain a high-quality education program for our students. And whereas the Board of Education is committed to using feedback through the LCAP process and the district fiscal stabilization planning meetings. Now therefore be resolved that the district will implement savings from revenue enhancements and/or budget reductions in the 26-27 and in the 27-28 school year to be fiscally solvent with a state minimum of a 3% fund balance reserve. Be it further resolved that the district will submit a detailed plan of budget reductions for the 26-27 and 27-28 school year and a timeline for implementation with the 25-26 and 26-27 second interim reports. This resolution becomes supplemental to the district's 25-26 adopted budget. That concludes the resolution. We recommend that the Board of Education adopt this resolution in compliance with the necessary requirements to obtain budget approval by the statutory deadline of November 8th.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions from the board on the item? I have a couple of questions. So I just want to be clear. Tonight is not about money. There are no reductions identified at this point. This is just a commitment to do the work, correct?
That is correct. The county further asked that we submit a plan to them to reach reductions during at the end of the month. Just a plan, not actual reductions, but this is the first step to receiving budget approval.
And then talking about the plan and the timeline, can you describe what that looks like? What are the markers? What's the approximate times or months or like whatever and where is the board weighing in on that?
Absolutely. Under the direction of Superintendent Cotton, the district fiscal stabilization meetings are happening in order to gather the data to inform the process. By October 31st, we'll need to inform the county CBO of our timeline to announce these reductions. The first step to that is during the first interim report, we will review expenditures and make adjustments to budget as necessary. At that time, we'll identify a new reduction target in order for us to become fiscally solvent. Once that target is identified, we will use the feedback that we've received from community meetings, from district staff, and from the board in order to identify areas of potential reduction. We'll then have a series of meetings to gather additional input and end at a list of potential reductions for the board to consider. This process will be very similar to the process that we followed 2 years ago when we successfully identified 19 million in reductions.
And so first interim is December, correct? Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
And second interim is
March.
March. Okay. So December and March are kind of the big timeline deliverables, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
I'd say January is going to be a strong month for identifying what we need to do because reductions are going to be dependent upon also our reduction in force that happens in February and March as well.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions on the item?
I just have one question. In the second interim report, are we going to include a line item breakdown of the proposed revenue enhancements and reductions? Do you know if we include that?
Yes, absolutely. It would be appropriate to include that in the presentation, but the second interim report, the formal report, does not allow for that. But the presentation will absolutely share that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody have anything else? Is there public comment on the item?
Mr. Sky Nelson?
Hi,
You
can you
could-
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Hi there, this is Sky Nelson, teacher and parent. I feel very strongly about this on the verge of tears as I think about the neutrality with which I hear you speaking about these cuts that we're committing to follow a process to make. I want to encourage you to think about this in a different light. Do we ask ourselves to renegotiate our fees with our lawyers? Do we ask ourselves to renegotiate our fees with the banks? In 2004, there was a hunger strike, I understand, just to renegotiate the loan interest. And these are real sacrifices that people make. And why are we making sacrifices internally, but not willing to ask the people who serve us in these other roles to sacrifice for us? Why is it more important for the teachers and the students than to renegotiate with the lawyers? We have some options like making immediate changes to the charter rules so that charters pay the fair amount for SPED. The County Board of Trustees overrode our charter denial in June, which is exacerbating our inequitable cost of SPED. There's a lot of stuff we could do. provide a waiver to the county, to us to not have to have a certain amount of reserve. Let's be creative, please.
That concludes public comment.
Great, thank you. Okay, resolution. Okay, I'll read it out. So resolution, a motion, I'm sorry, motion for resolution 2526-30 to identify the amount of revenue enhancements and or budget reductions needed for 26, 27, and 27, 28. And to require a list of revenue enhancements and or budget reductions for 26, 27 to be included in the 25, 26 second interim report. So that's the motion. I'll move it. Will anybody second?
Smith Folds seconds.
So Reckler motions, Smith Folds is a second. Any additional comments on the item? We'll go to the vote. Trustee Gonzalez-Hoy.
No.
Trustee Smith Folds.
Smith Folds, yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
No.
Clerk Kenyatta.
No.
And I am a yes. Motion passes. Gonzalez-Hoy, no. Hernandez, no. Smith Folds, Reckler, Inyana, yes. Did I get that right? Yes, okay. Okay, all right, so now where are we here? All right, just check me and make sure we did all the discussion and action items. So we did one.
I think they're asking for the clarification on votes, 3 no's, 2 yes. That motion though.
Oh, I'm sorry, who, were you a no? Wait.
Yes.
Were you a no? And you were a no? And you're, okay, I'm sorry about that. Motion fails. Gonzalez-Hoy, Hernandez, and Inyana, no. Smith Folds, Reckler, yes. Motion fails. Sorry about that. Thank you for that. Okay, let me just check this, make sure that we have everything else done. Okay, so I think we're up to pulled consent items. Okay, so the first one is C6, request for qualifications proposals.
President Reckler, I think staff's asking for a 5-minute break.
5-minute break, okay. We're at 10:58, back at 11:03. Okay, we'll be back at 11:03.
President Reckler, your mic is off.
Thank you. I need all the help I can get at this point. Okay, we are back. The superintendent has asked if the board would do a maneuver called a motion to reconsider. And I have Rosenberger's pulled up. I need help as well. I think I understand it, but I'm going to need some assistance. So we can reconsider the last motion if one person from the majority on the no side puts a motion on the floor. It can be seconded by anybody, and then we can vote to reconsider the item. And so I'd like to ask the superintendent to explain what the importance now of doing that.
President Reckler, I'm sorry, before we go over to that piece, for the process, isn't it a supermajority that needs to agree to put it back on the floor?
Let's read here.
That's what I recall, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, let's check. So it's timing. Motion to reconsider must be made at the meeting on which the item was first voted upon, so that'd be tonight. You can do it at a different meeting, but you have to suspend your rules, so it's not dead tonight. Motion to reconsider may be made only by certain members of the body according to a motion to reconsider may be made only by a member who voted in the majority on the original motions, that would be any of the three noes. If such a member has a change of heart, he or she may make the motion to reconsider. Any other member of the body, including a member who voted in the minority on the original motion, may second the motion. If a member who voted in the minority seeks to make the motion to reconsider, it must be ruled out of order. Okay, so it's only the three no votes. Purpose of this rule is finality. If the motion to reconsider passes, then the original matter is back before the body and a new original motion is in order. The matter may be discussed and debated as if it were on the floor for the first time. So I'm not seeing anything in here about a supermajority.
I found one resource that says it requires 2/3. And then I found another one that says that it just requires the majority. So I really don't know which is true.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Rosenberg's from the California League of Cities, Rosenberg's Rules of Order from California League of Cities. What would the board like to do? We can decide whether we'd like a supermajority or whether just a majority. Are there any opinions? Preferences?
Well, according to the rules that I think we have been trained in the past, it says it's just a simple majority. So maybe we just go by that and
Yeah, okay. So the first thing we have to do is a motion to reconsider. Before we do that, do you want to talk about Superintendent Cotton? You want to talk about what you would like to do?
Yes, let me pull this information up. Actually, yes, I will. Go ahead, Dr. Moses.
Okay, I think, is there an explanation of, would you like an explanation of what happens if we don't pass the resolution?
I think that would be helpful. Yes.
Okay. So currently, we do not have an approved budget. We received conditional approval. And one of the conditions of obtaining approval is passing this resolution. Should the resolution fail, then the county will not approve our budget. And what that triggers is county oversight of the budget. I just did some quick reading and found that there would be a budget review committee established. The county could assume the budget and assign a fiscal advisor to advise as to how we should create and implement a budget. We would be in the same situation that we were in when we failed to pass an LCAP and budget expenditures were halted. I'm not quite sure if our budget would be paused, but I am sure that oversight would then shift to the county. And that's the implication of not passing the resolution this evening, or not passing this resolution before October 10th, which is our deadline.
Thank you. Superintendent Cotton, do you want to add anything else, or is the presentation complete?
I think it would be helpful for the board to consider the impact of the vote that was taken and if possible, reconsider that decision. I think it has the potential to have a very negative impact on us as a district. My understanding is that a board member who voted no would need to initiate a motion to move this item forward.
Yes, that's definitely, that part at least is definitely true. Okay, so we'll try. Anybody from the no side majority, would you like to put a motion on the floor to reconsider the item? Okay, so there's no motion. We're done for this evening. There are some things we can think about and perhaps circle back. But for this evening, that item is not moving forward. Okay, so now we are up to consent. First one is C6, request for qualification proposals. I believe Trustee Hernandez, was that one yours?
Yeah, I just have questions in regards to it.
Okay, go ahead.
I did bring it up, right? I just wanted to know if you received those answers, just so I can get some clarification, because it is a big investment. And I just want to more clarification. Do you need me to repeat the questions? I can.
Yeah. Go ahead and repeat them for everyone, but I do know what you're talking about.
Okay, so the first question, in regards to Be the Change. How will Be the Change and the Expanded Learning Department measure the impact of this year's professional development on student belonging, staff practice, site level culture change, and how will those results be reported back to the board or in general?
Thank you. So Be the Change is an organization that does professional learning for the expanded learning coordinators around the SEL curriculum, which is called Building Intentional Communities. And so there's several ways where we will know if the capacity of staff to implement that curriculum is increasing. One is they do walkthroughs twice a year. They're actually conducting their walkthroughs today. They were on one. And so they'll be able to see actually a change in their walkthroughs to the fidelity of implementation. They also would believe that in end surveys, feelings of community and safety within the program, emotional safety would increase. I do want to note that this actually was not a contract request at this point. It was just to get this vendor into our book of vendors that we work with.
And then given that it's a big investment, it's 91,480, I think. I just want to be sure, how are we going to measure the equitable access, right, across all our expanded learning sites?
Yeah, so this curriculum is provided to all expanded learning sites, and all expanded learning sites do have a coordinator who would have access to this training. That is the intent.
Do we have a long-term plan to integrate the BIC practice into more permanently in expanded learning sites and our general training?
Just to clarify, are you getting at like to transfer that capacity building to our staff versus a contract?
Correct.
Yeah, I think we would love to do that with a lot of contracts. There is a particular challenge in after school in that it's incredibly high turnover. And so that can be, it would be an intention, but as we get new staff, we also want them to have access to the high quality learning that others have had.
Thank you. Those are all the questions I had.
Anybody else have questions on the item? Would you like to move it?
Yes, I move that we approve the proposal for Be the Change.
Great, is there a second? I'll second it, so it's Hernandez and Reckler, and anything further from the board? We'll go to a vote. Trustee Gonzalez, aye.
Yes.
Trustee Smith Foltz?
Smith Folds, yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Clerk Kenyatta?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion passes unanimously. Next is 9, legal contracts. I believe that was you, Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you. I'll just move it because of time. I move that we approve C9.
Okay.
Smith Folds seconds.
Okay, so it's Gonzalez Hoy and Smith Folds. Any questions? Seeing no, we'll go to the vote. Trustee Gonzalez Hoy,
Yes.
trustee Smith Folds,
Smith Folds, yes.
trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
clerk Kenyatta,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Motion passes unanimously. Next one is mine, roll call vote. Item C12, Citizens Bond Oversight Committee appointment, Don Gosney. Just looking for a roll call vote. Anybody have questions? Go to the vote. Trustee Gonzalez Hoy,
No.
trustee Smith Folds,
Smith Folds, no.
trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
clerk Kenyatta,
Yes.
and I'm a no. Motion fails. Trustee Smith, trustee Gonzalez Hoy, trustee Smith Folds, Reckler, no. Hernandez, clerk Kenyatta, yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now we're up to comments from the board. Anybody have any brief comments for tonight? We got everything done. Thank you. Well, we got done what we didn't pull, but thank you, everybody, for your cooperation tonight. Moving on to number H, the next scheduled board meeting is October 22nd, right here in Lavanya Dijon Middle School. I'm going to gavel us out 11:17. Everybody have a good evening. Thank you.